Letco for Wednesday night's Facebook record sale. When you're on and watching, be sure to let us know. Sorry for a little bit of a late start, but we are rolling now, so let's go ahead and get everything shared and get everybody commenting and get everybody on the feed. And we're going to be in high gear tonight because we're slightly delayed, and we're going to be really plowing through these records, so I hope you're on and ready to buy. Stacy's the first commenter. Fantastic. Let me get this link copied and shared everywhere. Let me first go over here to our group and make sure I've posted that we're live now. I told everybody we would. So I can set down Ozzy. I bet some people hop on don't know what I'm doing. I hold that up so it generates it as a thumbnail for the live event. So let's see, there we go. We're live now. And I'm going to reply to everybody with the link. Anybody that comments on the post, I always reply to them. So welcome. It's Wednesday. We got another incredible batch of auctions ready for you. I mean, absolutely incredible. Once again, it's going to be like that for a while. So I'm replying to everybody right now that was complaining about me starting late. That's okay. Let's see. I've almost got it shared everywhere already. I'm in fast mode tonight, getting caught up for the 50 minutes I've missed. Usually we start at 10 after, but I try to start at 7. I really do, but there's just always something. I don't think I still got everything new priced and pulled, but I'm working on it. All right, here we go. Post it there as Coletco, and I'm going to post it again, and I'm going to post it again. All right, so let's go back, and there's the ad for tonight. Let me post it there. And actually, I got to go back as Chad and do this for one more time. Let me do it one more time here. Oh, let's see. Almost done, or almost ready. Let me figure out where I shared the post for tonight, right here. And one more place, which is Facebook feed. Let's get that on our Instagram story and our Facebook stories. No, I do not want to purchase the NFL ticket. I will watch very few NFL games. Maybe a little bit of the Titans. I watch college football. Story. Let's put this on our story. And link. Live now. You go to a college football game and you go to a pro game, there's a big difference for a reason. It is incredible, a different atmosphere between a pro. Now, I've been to some big pro games. They do get pretty crazy, but I don't know if y'all have ever been to a Tennessee-Alabama game before. But a Tennessee-Alabama game gets pretty crazy, regardless of if Tennessee's not ranked and Alabama's number 1. It's still going to be a lot of emotions at kickoff, especially the last 15 years. It's like, could this be the year? All right. Okay, let's go through our newest new vinyl. We're going to go start with new stuff right off. We're do new stuff right off the bat. Let's go through some new vinyl. That was a warm-up crate we did yesterday, and I've got new vinyl right here. We're also going to go ahead and get our auction started. I've got about 35 auctions, just like we do every night. Pretty much a whole crate of auction stuff, and we're going to get started right now. So welcome everybody, Wednesday night. This is about the time Wednesday at 8 o'clock would be about what most people get on anyway. So I've been thinking about starting Wednesdays at 8 o'clock just to begin with, but that's confusing, saying, hey, we start 5 days a week at 7 and Wednesdays 8. But a lot of people don't get on Wednesdays till 8. Same thing with Fridays and Saturdays. Usually not everybody's on till 8. And that even counts East Coast people maybe getting on at like 9. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start with some auctions from tonight's sale. This is stuff that I worked on, all from the Pittsburgh collection. If we are auctioning something, it is going to be from the Pittsburgh collection. So here's what I've got for you tonight. I've got incredible auctions that you'll want to be watching all night for. That's, the autographs, the bootlegs, the imports, etc. I've got 2 crates of Buy It Now Best Offer that I just pulled in the back. I've got 3 crates of new vinyl, and if we run out of stuff to show, I'll start doing half off. So I really don't have any new vintage stuff to show you, but you're going to be seeing new stuff, if that makes sense. Here's our first two auctions of the night. This is Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. This is a 2003 U.S. pressing. It is a live concert from Buddy Guy and Junior Wells, Chicago Blues Festival, 1964. All these auctions from tonight, I have cleaned them just like anything else we sell. But me, Chad, I have cleaned these. Some of them I've ran through the ultrasonic cleaner. I've got them all in new MoFi sleeves, and this is a $15 start. So Buddy Guy and Junior Wells, Chicago Blues Festival, 2003. That's from 1964. The concert, that's a $15 start. We also have Linda Ronstadt, Blue Bayou. Here's a Linda Ronstadt I've never seen before. And this is a 1982 German pressing. Like I've told y'all before, this guy has a lot of imports. This is a 1982 Linda Ronstadt German pressing of Blue Bayou. It's in shrink wrap. It's near mint minus as well. That is a $15 start. $15 start. So this collection continues to give back, and we're just on the first layer. We're just on the first layer. So let me go grab my other phone right quick. So we already got bids on our first auctions. I've got new vinyl for you. This is this week's newest vinyl. I haven't had time really to order much this week or pull a lot of pre-orders. We've been so busy with this collection. So new vinyls got a little neglected. So while we're running auctions tonight, we're going to be going through most of this week's new vinyl. And let me go ahead and pull up the first pre-order. There's only 2 pre-orders here I don't have lists for. There's only 2 pre-orders I don't have lists for, and those I'm going to have to read off my phone. So I haven't turned this phone on in a couple days either, in like text messages. Let me put it on Do Not Disturb. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me search Skid Row here. So our first pre-sale is the new Skid Row album. So we have the new Skid Row in, which is Subhuman Race. It's been out for a while, since the 90s, but this is a new 2 LP colored vinyl. We've got two Skid Row albums tonight that really have not been available on vinyl unless you bought the box set. They haven't been reissued in a long time unless you bought the Skid Row box set. So this is Skid Row Subhuman Race. That is a 2 LP on colored vinyl, $44.99 on Skid Row Subhuman Race. $44.99 on that, blue and black vinyl. And let me go ahead and read the pre-order off for that. But before I do, let me update everybody on the auction. Monica Malley's at $25 on Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. Monica Malley's at $25 on Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. And we have a $20 bid on Linda Ronstadt with Debbie Blair. So Linda's at $20 with Debbie Blair, and Buddy Guy and Junior Wells is at $25. The pre-order for Skid Row, let me get everybody read off here so you know. I don't have it actually typed up yet, but I will read it straight from the post. This is Skid Row, Subhuman Race. It's on colored vinyl, new for this week, $44.99. Dennis Dunlap, Richard Davis, Kenny Fox, Jamie Shears, Corey Costa, Chris Royalty, Danny Czar, Bill Frasky, Stacy Brown, Dwayne Sevilla, Kendall Edwards, Joe Hawkins, James Bragg, Eric Beck, Jay Condi, Misty Wires, Chris Jones, Scotty Hypes, Todd Tipton, Brandon Jackson, Nick Pullen, and William Lee Murray. That is everybody who pre-ordered a Skid Row Subhuman Race 2 LP blue and black colored vinyl. As you can see, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 10 of those left. Buddy Guy's at 27. Now it's at 30. Linda Ronstadt's at 25. Buddy Guy's at 30, 35. Buddy Guy's at 27. Lamb of God, self-titled, $28.99 for Lamb of God, self-titled. Did I bring a sheet over here? I did. Lamb of God, self-titled. There was one person on a waiting list for Lamb of God, self-titled. That was Brandon Lack. So, Brandon, I've already got you a Lamb of God pulled. I have one extra here if anybody wants it. $28.99 for Lamb of God. And Death Leprosy, which this is a restock. We had a waiting list for Death Leprosy. Jared Benoit and James Bragg, I've already got yours pulled. And that is Death Leprosy, $28.99. Tony Barrera says he'll take the Lamb of God. That's so to Tony. And Brandon Jackson says he'll take Death. If we happen to sell out of something, just go ahead and comment that you want one. This is Wednesday. We probably will have any restocks by Friday. Yes, if I get the order in and tell them to release it, we can have any waiting list as long as they're still in stock by tonight. So we have Buddy Guy, update on our auctions. Buddy Guy's with Michael Nath at $30. Chicago Blues Festival, 1964. If you're just hopping on, you haven't missed anything. This is our first 2 auctions. Buddy Guy's at 30 with Michael Nath, and Linda Ronstadt is now at 30 with David Eberly. Both auctions are at 30. Lily McCurry says if she's not on Skid Row, Please add her to the list. Lillian, I don't think I read off your name. I'm almost positive I didn't. So I will pull you a Skid Row. Sell one to Lillian McCurry. So both auctions are at 30, going once, going twice. Brandon says put back Death. He already has that one. So Jake, I'm going to put back Death in the crate. So I still got Death. Does anybody would like to purchase some Death? I have it. Van Morrison. $49.99. This is an unofficial. We're going to have some vintage unofficial Van Morrisons tonight, and based on what I see vintage Van Morrison selling for on PopPsych, pretty good deal at $49.99. It's hand numbered. It's white colored vinyl. It's Pacific Studios 1971, and that's $49.99. That's a hand numbered Van Morrison bootleg. I figured some of our Van Morrison fans would love that. I only could get one though, so I only have one, and then we'd have to do a waiting list. $49.99. By the way, Linda Ronstadt's now at 32. Linda Ronstadt's at 33. Buddy Guy's at 40. Now it's at 35. Now it's at 40. Lillian wants the Van Morrison, and we'll put Sherry Darnell or anybody else on a waiting list that wants one. So give this one to Lillian, and we'll put everybody else on a waiting list. Jeannie Purnell says she'll take Death Leprosy. That's so to Jeannie Purnell. Thank you. Next record is another Lamb of God. This is Ashes of the Wake. Lamb of God is $36.99. Ashes of the Wake, $36.99. Joshua, who was on the Death list, that was Jared Benoit and James Bragg. Jared Benoit. There's another Lamb of God. Tony Barrara, I'm glad you're on. Let me find that. We've been waiting for you to hop on. I've got a Promise album. I don't think you have. I've been waiting for you to hop on and claim it, but I haven't seen you in a while. Where's that Promise record from Tony? I got a Promise Rhinoplasty that I'm pretty sure you don't have. I was ordering all these for you, and I hadn't seen you in a couple shows. Let me find Promise Rhinoplasty. I don't know where it is right now, but if you want it, let me know, and I'll pull it for you. But somewhere I've got a Promise Rhinoplasty for that. So, Miles just asked, which Promise do you have? I'll show those a little bit later. Right now, I don't think I have any in these crates. Lamb of God was $36.99, and I have something else, another Death. This is Death Spiritual Healing. Death Spiritual Healing is $28.99. That's another Death, and we have not had that one yet. Here's Promise. Promise Rhinoplasty. It is $31.99. Promise Rhinoplasty, $31.99. Okay, back up to the top. We had Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. Guy and Wells was at 42 with Monica Malley. Next is Lamb of God, a 2LP. This is yes, that's a 2LP, Brandon Jackson. That is a 2LP. Linda Ronstadt's at 36 with Pamela Yeager. That's Blue Bayou. That's a German import and shrink wrap. We also have Buddy Guy at 46. We have Brandon Jackson taking Death, Spiritual Healing. So that's so to Brandon Jackson. Davy Blair's at 38 on Linda Ronstadt. That's at 38 with Davy Blair. Put James Bragg on a waiting list for Death, Spiritual Healing. I've only got one of those. And also Jeannie Purnell. And Tony Barrar says he'll take Rhinoplasty. That's sold to that. Miles, I can't get you the rest of the Promise titles right now, but stick around later, and I might can show some more. Brandon Jackson says he'll take Lamb of God. So Linda Ronstadt just got a new bid for $39, and we did get a restock of Paul Simon, The Rhythm of the Saint. And Jerry Stone, you was on a waiting list for that. So Mr. Stone, that's Jerry Stone. I got you one already. I have one extra if anybody wants it. $28.99 for Paul Simon, Rhythm of the Saint. Did get a restock of Judas Priest Painkiller. Judas Priest Painkiller, and there were several on that one. Judas Priest Painkiller, that was two people, Scott Honecker and Brian C. Scott Honecker and Brian C. I've got those in for you, and I've got extras. I've got two extras if anybody else wants one. Final call on Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. High bid on that is with Michael Nath at $45. Chicago Blues Festival, 1964, 180 gram, near mint minus. That's a final call of Michael Nath at $45. They're still bidding on the Linda Ronstadt German import of Blue Bayou. Never had this one before. It's near mint minus, also in shrink wrap, and that is the German pressing. And that was at 41 with Debbie Blair. And now, 41 with Debbie Blair. Next was Chris Kirkley. He says he'll take Paul Simon. That's sold to Chris Kirkley. Scott Honecker says take him off the Painkiller list. Okay, I will have to just make a note of that. I'll do that later. So I've got actually 3 extras to sell. David Eberly says he'll take one, so give one to David Eberly. And Monica's back in on the Guy and Wells at 47. Guy and Wells at 47 now. Michael Nath, you're back out. So Linda Ronstadt is now a final bid with Debbie Blair at $41. The Who's Next has not come in, or Richard Wright. No, they haven't. I did get a shipping notification today. The Fleetwood Mac Rumors Live, big pre-order on that. That will be in this week. The new Tyler Childers album will be in this week. And the Prince Batman soundtrack. I got a shipping notification from one of my distributor. 7 boxes of new vinyl. If those aren't here tomorrow, they'll be here Friday. That's the Prince Batman soundtrack, Fleetwood Mac Rumors, and the new Tyler Childers. Big orders for those. All 3 of those will be in. I'm very excited to have Prince in. I think I'm going to keep one myself. If anything, it's a Batman soundtrack. Fantastic. Very cool cover, and it looks like they've done a really good job with it. New bid on Buddy Guy, 48. New bid on Linda Ronstadt, 43. Another new bid on Linda Ronstadt, 45. We're in our first bin of new vinyl. So far, there's only 2 titles left in here. Skid Row and Judas Priest. Our next title is a restock of Linkin Park Meteora. Linkin Park Meteora is $31.99. I have 3 of those available. Linkin Park Meteora, $31.99. And this was a huge pre-order. Let me go ahead and be pulling this one up. I think first time on black vinyl ever, unless you get the OG, which I don't know, is this one? I don't know if this was ever released on vinyl to begin with. I think it was, and it's really rare, very expensive. It was released as a picture disc, but that is Cure the Show, and that is $44.99 for Cure the Show. 30th anniversary, it's remastered by Robert Smith. You know that's going to sound good. That is a 2 LP for $44.99. Let me read off the pre-order for the Cure. That is Jason Fornerat, Rich Recor, Walt Cruz, R.J. Myers, Sherry Darnell, Sean Fairweather, Chris Kirkley, James Bragg, Mike Massey, Christopher David, Darren Wortman, Jason Ivey, and Cynthia Herdren. Cynthia Herdren. That's everybody who pre-ordered Cure the Show, and it looks like I've got 5 extras to sell. Linda Ronstadt's at 47. Batman will be, I think, $31.99. Linda Ronstadt's at 47. David Schroeder on Linkin Park. David Schroeder on Linkin Park. David Schroeder gets a Linkin Park. Skid Row is $44.99. Joe, I think he was on the pre-order. I think. Blue and black vinyl, 2 LP. First time that's been reissued by itself in a while. Jeannie Pinnell says she'll take a Cure. Yeah, first time that's been on vinyl pretty much, I think, ever on black vinyl, unless you get an OG, which is very expensive. Update on our auctions. First 2 auctions of the night, already heated. Michael Nath is at 48 on Buddy Guy. That is going once, going twice. The backup bidder was Monica. Let me know if you want back in. Michael Nath has that for 48. High bid on Linda Ronstadt is now 47. High bid on Linda Ronstadt's 47. Let's go ahead and tag Joe Hawkins for a Skid Row. You may not have been on the pre-order. I read your name off earlier for something. So tag him for that, Jake, and actually set it aside so we don't accidentally give him 2. So when you get to Joe's Skid Row, just set aside. Now, here's the big Skid Row. This was the popular one, Slave to the Grind. That is $44.99 as well. That's on orange and black marbled vinyl. Huge pre-order for that one, and there's always a demand for this album. Slave to the Grind, Skid Row. This is $44.99. The post has 75 comments, which means we probably have about half that many pre-orders because I reply to everybody and give them a number. So Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. Here's everybody who's already got one of these. They're $44.99, limited edition, and this hasn't been reissued in a long time either. Not anything like the Cure, but it's just been a while. Here's everybody who's got one for sure already. Brooks Votter, John Sheehan, Mike Helton, Corey Coster, Keith Petit, Bubby Mercer, William Lee Murray, Scotty Hops, Chris Poliski. No, he didn't. He just asked about it. Never mind on Chris. Brian Tyler, who's already left the group. I think he was a first-time buyer, so we probably won't be selling him one. Thomas asked if it's an official. This is an official press. This is an official press. Kenny Fox got one. Brandon Jackson, Craig Ruth, John Miller, Jill Morris, Chris DeMoss, Terry Watts, Bob Reiger, Matt Wermeyer, Eric Beck, Michael Thrower, Matt Algram, John Ambrosic, Bill Walton, David Tate, James Bragg, Jay Condi, Bill Fratsky, John Smotes, Matthew Sherenick, C. William Pop. And that's it. $44.99. If you want one, I still have them available. Let's go back up to the top. And Buddy Guy got a bid for $49 with Monica Malley. Stacy Brown wants a Linkin Park. I've got one left. Sell that to Stacy Brown. We have Jeff Gill on a Skid Row. So, Jake, we will start the Skid Rows now. That's Jeff Gill. We have Kelly Gabney on a Skid Row. Clay Moore wants the other Linkin Park and the last Linkin Park. That's sold to Clay Moore. Jerry Stone wants The Cure. That's sold to Jerry Stone. Buddy Guy's now at $50 with Michael Nath. That's the Chicago Blues Festival 1964. Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. Michael Nath is at $50. And there may be a new bid at the bottom, but right now, the last bid I seen on Linda Ronstadt was $47 to Debbie Blair. So let me get back to where I was. Alan Jonathan wanted a Skid Row. That's sold to Alan Jonathan, Skid Row. Can I get a copy of the first Skid Row? I will see if I have any in stock, but I'm not for sure right now. Lillian McCurry on Skid Row. David Eberly also wants a Skid Row. Joe Maynard wants one of the Cures. That's the show. Pamela's back in on Linda Ronstadt at $48. Pamela is back in at $48. $48. And Lillian got the Cure. Or was that Joe Maynard? Did I read off Joe Maynard last? Okay, so Lillian McCurry gets a Cure. And that means we have, let's see here. So, yeah, new bid on Debbie Blair, with Debbie Blair on Linda Ronstadt for $49. And then Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. Buddy Guy and Junior Wells is at $50 with Michael Nath. So, whoever else was bidding, Monica, let me know if you want back in on that. Michael has it at $50. Debbie's at $49 on Linda Ronstadt. And the first one, this one. I thought you meant their first album. So, Bubby wants this album here, Subhuman Race. Okay. This is our first two auctions of the night. We've been bidding on them for 18 minutes. No, we've been bidding on them for 22 minutes approximately. I'm going to go ahead and get a third auction started because we have so much to get to. I think these are almost done, but you never know. Let's go ahead and do one of our autographs for tonight. Let's go ahead. I thought this was pretty incredible. If you're going to have an autographed album by this man, this is the one. This is Michael Martin Murphey, Blue Sky Night Thunder. It's also OG Press. 1975 US, the vinyl's EX Plus. It's a really nice copy, EX Plus. The reason I say that because it did have a couple of marks on it. It is autographed. And let me give you a quick rundown on our autographs if you haven't been watching already. If we sell an autographed record, I guarantee it to be authentic. You have 100% guarantee. I'm guaranteeing it to be authentic. I've had other people look at these. I've looked at them. I know it's real, also based on the provenance. If you ever buy an autograph from us, and you have it authenticated by PSA, JSA, Beckett, or another highly reputable company, and it's not real, I'll give you your money back. But I'm not going to sell you a fake autograph. This is 100% real. $35 start. What a great album to have autographed, and only that, it has his hit song, Wildfire, on it. So it's a great album, too. $35 start on that. It's up for bid. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see. Monica's out on Buddy Guy. This is sold to Michael Nath for $50. I'm going to go ahead and move that one out of the way. Michael Nath, you get that for $50. So that way we can put Michael Martin Murphey up here. Next is get the F out on that copy. Are you talking about Skid Row? I'm not for sure. I don't think it is. I don't see it on this album here. That hadn't sold yet. Ozzy's on deck. Ozzy Bark at the Moon's on deck, by the way. I'm new here. How does this work? Give me 1 second and I'll give you full instructions. Linda Ronstadt is a 1982 German pressing. This is a 1982 German pressing in shrink wrap of Blue Bayou, something I'd never seen before and something we've never had before. Blue Bayou, the vinyl's near mint minus, and it is in shrink wrap. Back up to the top, Howie Hisner says, how much is Painkiller? Howie, I've got 2 copies left, and those are $28.99. I have not sold Mountain. These are our first 2 auctions, or actually our first 3. We haven't got anywhere yet. Linda Ronstadt's at 51. Michael Martin Murphy's at 35, now 40. And Linda Ronstadt's at 55. We are still bidding on that. Are you going to have extras on the Batman pre-order? Yes, I should. But if you want to go find that post, if you want to search the group for Batman and go ahead and claim it, I haven't keyed off everybody's names yet. So just FYI. Okay, Joe Hawkins said yes, and that was for what? Do you want a copy, Joe? Did I miss that? Let me know if you want Slave to the Grind, if those say sold. Okay, first crate of new vinyl, very hectic. Let's go through these one more time. Skid Row, Subhuman Race, I still have these available. Blue and black marbled vinyl, $44.99. I've got 1 copy left of Cure, The Show, or Cure Show. I always want to put a "the" in front of their name, but I think they just call themselves Cure. And the name of the album is Show. $44.99. We have Slave to the Grind still available. Slave to the Grind is $44.99. So 2 Skid Rows, a Cure, 1 left, and 2 Judas Priest Painkiller. I know there's only 1 in the crate, but we had somebody put 1 back that we hadn't pulled yet. All right, Linda Ronstadt's at $55. We have got a lot of bidders still active. Not a lot of people said out on Linda Ronstadt yet. Debbie Blair has that for $55. Now Pamela's at $56. High bid, we already have a $40 bid. Perry Wood's already at $40 on the autographed Michael Martin Murphey. That's already at $40 on that one. We have a waiting list for Meteora. Yes, Todd, if you want on a waiting list for Meteora, go ahead and put his name down on that, Jake. Lincoln Park, Meteora for Todd Timpton. Linda Ronstadt's at 56. Kelly Gabney does want a Judas Priest. And I do not have any more Kiss Psycho Circus, but we have a waiting list. If anybody wants on a waiting list for Kiss Psycho Circus, those could come in any day. We could have 100 of those show up tomorrow. We could have 100 show up next month. I really don't know. So here's how our vintage is going to work. Everything is going to be buy it now, best offer in this crate. I do have more new vinyl to show you, but this is going to be fun to go through some stuff we hadn't shown in a while. And guess what? It's all going to be on sale. This crate, I don't even remember showing a lot of these. I could have just brought it up here and said, well, I've got new arrivals for you. But what I'm going to do is just say, these are on sale. So there's some great titles in here. I know a lot of y'all would probably run them right off the bat at sticker price, but they're buy it now, best offer. You can still claim them, but if you want to make an offer, you can do that as well. Let's do some final calls on these auctions. We have 3 people bidding. No one has said out, and Perry Wood has the high bid on this at $40. Perry Wood, you're the high bidder at $40 on the Michael Martin Murphy. 2 other people bid $35. You was in first at $40. So that's going twice, going 3 times to Perry Wood for $40. And they're still bidding on Linda Ronstadt. Debbie Blair's at $60. And then we'll start putting up some other auctions. Autographed Michael Martin Murphy on his most popular album. Great signature, and it's an OG copy of the album. We got new bids. I was about to say, where's the bidders on Michael Martin Murphy? I figured that would already have more activity, but now it's starting to come in. All right, so these are vintage, buy it now, best offer. Ringo Starr, Buku of Blues, $34.99. An original U.S. Apple pressing. Very nice, just a generic inner sleeve. It is a gatefold. These are all buy it now or best offer. We have the Supremes, I Hear a Symphony. The Supremes is $14.99. Based on the cover, it looks like a little bit later pressing, but it is still on the Motown label, $14.99. If you don't hear me say condition, that means they're EX Plus to near mint minus. EX Plus to near mint minus. Ringo, the Supremes. Jimmy Smith, the Boss, $24.99. This is on Verve, black Verve label. Jimmy Smith, the Boss. John Porter says he'll take the Supremes. That's so to John Porter. Michael Martin Murphy's at $50 and Linda Ronstadt's at $61. The Rascals C. The Rascals is $14.99 for the Rascals C. That's a 4-digit Atlantic on the 1841 Broadway address. Older pressing of that, $14.99. Squeeze, Babylon and On. Squeeze is $24.99. $24.99. Squeeze, Babylon and On, and that has the original inner sleeve. Just so everybody knows how the show works, I know we have some new people watching, so if you see something you want, you can buy it or you can bid on it. If you're a first-time buyer, I will recognize your name. By now, I know most people's names, especially if they're a regular. If you're a new buyer, I'll give you first-time instructions, and then we'll go from there. So that's how that works. By the way, Michael Martin Murphy's at $50. That's now a final call with Brent Robley, going twice, going 3 times, and Debbie Blair has the Supremes for $63. That's a final call. If Pamela says out on Linda Ronstadt or Debbie says out, then we're going to sell them so we can put up some new stuff. Mark Lent said he would give $19 for Squeeze. Jake, sell that to Mark Lent for $19. $19. We have Rod Stewart, Foolish Behavior. Rod Stewart is $14.99. Original inner sleeve and poster. Original inner sleeve and poster, $14.99 on Rod Stewart. No, I have not got to the Blues Brothers autograph. We will do that either later this week or next week. Donald Fagen, Walter Becker, and Denny Diaz. Essentially, Steely Dan doing this, You Gotta Walk It Like You Talk It. That is $39.99. Very clean and very nice. The Concept by Slave, $19.99. Slave is $19.99. Has the original company inner sleeve. Super clean vinyl, $19.99 on that. Final. I've already said final call, but I don't think I ever did going once, going twice. Brent Robley has MMM for $50. I'm about to sell it. Debbie says she's out on Linda Ronstadt. Debbie is out, and Pamela Yeager gets Linda Ronstadt for $65. That's sold. Our next auction is Ozzy, Bark at the Moon. This is a 1983 US OG Carrollton press. That is EX Plus to near mint minus. It has the original insert and the inner sleeve. Ozzy's a $55 start. Ozzy, Bark at the Moon, VG Plus jacket. It has the inner sleeve, and I thought it had an insert. Oh, maybe I was just looking at the inner sleeve. So it just has the inner sleeve. I don't think this actually came with an insert, just the inner sleeve there. So $55 start on Ozzy, VG Plus cover. There's the sleeve, another generic inner sleeve. I have ultrasonically cleaned this one because I wanted to listen to it. Bark at the Moon. That's a $55 start for Ozzy. Bark at the Moon. That's now up for auction. Okay, let me put that away and make sure I didn't miss anything else. Perry Wood offered $9.99 for Rod Stewart. Sell that to Perry Wood for $9.99. Oh my gosh, I was reaching over here to sell MMM. Scott Drum has bid $52. Scott, you got lucky. I was reaching for that to sell it to Brent Robley. Brent, Scott's the new high bidder at $52. Jerry's at $55 on Ozzy. Chris Frazier's at $100. The Dales is $14.99. Everything in this vintage bin is buy it now best offer. After we go through this one, I've got new stuff. The Dales is $14.99. Big Joe Turner, Roots of Rock and Roll, Volume 2. Big Joe Turner. It does have a clip corner. This is Big Joe Turner. Have no fear. Big Joe Turner is here. The Roots of Rock and Roll Volume 2, $26.99. John Porter wants the Dales. That's so to John Porter. The Doors Soft Parade Gatefold. It is on the Butterfly Electra label. Looks like super clean vinyl. The Doors is $34.99. We have the Supremes, right? Dinah Ross and the Supremes with the Temptations together. Somebody's name is written on the cover. That is $9.99. And this is Charlie Daniels Band, Fire on the Mountain. Charlie Daniels Band, Fire on the Mountain. Very clean on that original Kama Sutra label. Gatefold, $24.99. Okay, we have Brent Robley. If you're still with me, let me know if you want in or out on MMM. Chris may went ahead and slam the door on Ozzy. He's at $100 on Bark at the Moon. Final call. This is a buy it now best offer crate. Yes, these are buy it now. You can go ahead and claim it, or you can make an offer. That's how this crate is working here. Jefferson Starship, Freedom at .0. This has their hit song Jane on it. Also has the original inner sleeve. Very clean. $14.99 Jefferson Starship Freedom at .0. Joe Walsh, you bought it. You name it. Joe Walsh is $19.99. These are all buy it now best offer. And another Jefferson Starship Earth, also with the original inner sleeve. That is $14.99. Sell Mark Fallon, Jefferson Starship for $10. All right, Chris Frazier gets Ozzy for $100, and we're at a final call now. I bet Brent thought he had won MMM. If he's still watching, he's waiting to bid, or he hopped off and didn't realize maybe he had got outbid on that. So next auction, if you can't stay too late and you're waiting on something, let me know, and I will put it on deck, okay? I will put it on deck. First, we have Al Green's Greatest Hits. This collection had some really nice Al Green records. Al Green's Greatest Hits. I've cleaned this. I have listened to it. It sounds really good. It's EX Plus. It does have one little mark on it. You know, other than that, I think y'all know how nice some of the these Al Greens have been. This is a 75 US OG on the original label. $35 start. Al Green's Greatest Hits. I listened to both sides. Yeah, there's a little bit of a needle drop right here. Other than that, it would be near mint minus. So I went ahead and graded it EX. So there's the LP. There's the original inner sleeve. And the cover is also really solid. Boy, I love Al Green. Great soul music right here. Rich Recore is at $40 already on that one. Let me go back up to the top. We had that for $10. Charlie Daniels Band, Todd Tipton, $24.99. We got a $14 offer on Joe Walsh, a $15 offer on Joe Walsh, and Denise said she would take it at sticker price. Well, here, this is how this works when we have a lot of people claiming the same record. If somebody says they'll take it at full price, then they can have it full price, but whoever's first has dibs if you still want it. So who was first? James, let me know if you want this for $19.99. If not, then Lance can let me know if he wants it for $19.99. If not, then Denise Harris gets it for $19.99. Miles offered $20 for the doors. I cannot do $20 on the doors, but I will sell that to you for $28. If you want the doors for $28 miles, I will sell it to you. I've got that marked $34.99. Chris also offered $10 for Joe Walsh, so he was fourth. High bid on Michael Martin Murphy. Brent, you got outbid at the last second. It was at 52. Now Brent's at 53. So Scott and Brent are still bidding on that. Somebody said put up Jack White. We're waiting on Yes, KR, which is something. Freedom of .0. Lance said he'd give $10 for Freedom of .0. That's already sold. Dwight Yoakam, Billy Preston. Okay, I'll get all those on deck. Al Green, 40, 45. Michael Martin Murphy at 53. Rich Recore, 48. Arm Lazelle said he would give 25 for Donald Fagen. Sell this to Rich Recore for 25 and give James Rayner Joe Walsh at sticker price. So that is sold to James Rayner at sticker price. And we're going to sell this to Arm Lazelle for $25. Scott Drums at 55. Brent's at 57. And Al Green is at 48 with Rich Record. Okay, I see what everybody's looking. They're wanting to bid on Dwight Yoakam's, Mountains, the Stones. Lots of great auctions tonight. Mott the Hoople is $17.99. Mott the Hoople, and this album's called Mott. These are all buy it now, best offer, $17.99. The Rolling Stones Hot Rocks. Looks like a very nice copy, $39.99. The Essential Rolling Stones compilation. David Eberly says he'll take Mott. That's sold to David Eberly. And Neil Diamond, Velvet Gloves and Spit. This has Shiloh, Brooklyn Roads. That's on the Uni label, $12.99. Okay, Michael Martin Murphy. The high bid, this is autographed. Blue Sky, Night Thunder. It also happens to be the OG pressing. It is autographed by the man himself. Great album, his most popular with Wildfire. The high bid on that is Brent Robley at 57. That's now a final call. Scott Drum, let me know if you want in or out. And Rich Record has the final call on Al Green at $48. Al Green's Greatest Hits. Very good sounding record. I listened to it myself. The REM bootlegs, everything in the photograph that was posted today will be auctioned. They will be sold sometime here in the next 3 hours. We got a lot of auctions to do. Side 4 Dead Wax on Hot Rocks. John, if this is the one that you want and it has slipped through, I will be shocked. But we check every one of them. But I will read it off to you. XZAL1018GL. It also says Sterling LHPR. Looks like a really nice pressing. $39.99 for that. Let's sell Mark Lent, Neil Diamond for $9. Scott Drum is out, and we have a final call on both of those. I'm about to sell them. Chicago 3 is $19.99. This is a 2LP gatefold of Chicago 3. It looks like it has the original inner sleeves, and that is some very nice vinyl. $19.99. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Rich Record gets Al Green's Greatest Hits. $48, Jake. And Michael Martin Murphy autograph is sold to Brent Robley for $57. Let me grab 2 new auctions. This bin of Buy It Now Best Offer, I told y'all it was good. I went to the back and I was going to make flip crates, and I just didn't have enough time. I did not have enough time, so I went ahead and just pulled stuff out of the bins, and I was like, well, heck, this stuff is some pretty incredible stuff here. Let's do a Dwight Yoakam, which also happens to be sort of autographed. I'll explain that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And somebody asked, could we put up, what was the other request? Possibly REM? Nah, we'll wait on REM. That's gonna be pretty incredible when we put that up, as usual. Okay, let's do Dwight Yoakam. Now, as you can see, that is not Dwight Yoakam's autograph. This is autographed by Maria McKee. It is autographed by Maria McKee. She did the backup vocals on the song Bury Me. It is not autographed by Dwight Yoakam. This is a 1986 US OG pressing. It's a SRC pressing. It is near mint minus. It's going to be a $35 start. And it's autographed by Maria McKee, who did the backup song on this album, Bury Me. She worked on other Dwight Yoakam albums, and we have some other autographs from her. This is a $35 start. Dwight Yoakam. She is also the lead singer. Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. Also the lead singer for Lone Justice. Maria McKee autographed this. The vinyl is near mint minus and pristine. This is a beautiful copy. I'm pretty sure he bought it just to have it autographed. It's got the original inner sleeve. Dwight Yoakam is a $35 start. That's what we would be starting this record for if it wasn't autographed. $35 start. Hey, there's a chance Dwight's still around. If you get lucky enough and find him somewhere at a concert, he might consign it, and then that's really cool. These people that obtain these autographs, they wait at hotels, they wait outside the venues. I'm in a group where people, I know they go out and they find out where these celebrities are staying. They get them to sign something and they put it up for sale immediately. A lot of people have that as a side hustle, and they make a lot of money getting these celebrities' autographs. They video them signing the stuff and then sell it immediately. Okay, back up to the top. Jeff Krause said he'd give $15 for Chicago. We have somebody saying they would take it at $19.99. So, Jeff, if you want this for $19.99, you can have it. If you pass, it goes to Marsha French. So we'll see what Jeff and Marsha says. Let's do the other auction. This is Yes. It's called Chord of Life. This is weird. It sounds like it's an audio recording. It sounds like it's an audience recording, like off a tape player. But it actually gets better. I listened to the entire concert. It starts off a little rough. It's very muddy. It doesn't sound the greatest, but it gets better. It's pretty weird. It's like their tape recorder warmed up or something. But this is definitely an audience recording, but check out the artwork. Too bad this isn't an official release. That would be really cool. Yes, Chord of Life. And this is a live concert from October 30th, 1972 at the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada. Excuse me. Ontario, Canada. University of Waterloo. That's a lot of syllables right there I just read off. $35 start. That is a Yes bootleg. It's amazing, though, hearing Yes in concert, me being a fan, just like of all these bootlegs. It's amazing putting these on. Sometimes it may not sound the greatest, but just hearing John Anderson in 1972, it's incredible. And I like the artwork. Check that out. Discogs even put the name. This exact artwork by Roger Dean has a name. I think it was in Latin, though, so I'd even try to read it. That is up for bid. Very cool. That's a Yes bootleg from 1972. It was pressed in 1987. Okay, we have Dwight Yoakam 35. We have Dwight Yoakam 40, Dwight Yoakam 40, Dwight Yoakam 45, Dwight Yoakam 42. Headhunters will be sold tonight, yes. Jeff Passes, they'll sell Marsha French this for sticker price. Dwight Yoakam 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Yes is at 30. Sell Greg Preston the Stones for, Greg, give me a $3 bump on that. Let's make it 33. Let's make that 33. It's a really nice copy on the vinyl. And if you say yes, I'll sell that to you for 33. We have Dwight Yoakam 75. Yes is at 36 and yes is at 50. Back to the buy it now best offer stuff. After this, I've got 2 crates of new vinyl to go through and then more. Greg said sold. Hot Rock sold to Greg Preston for 33. Badfinger ASS. This is the original Apple pressing. It also has the original inner sleeve. Badfinger is $24.99 ASS. You can sound that out. U2 War. It does have some cover damage. It looks like somebody was tracing something over it. You see all those indentations or something? So it does have some cover damage. Other than that, the vinyl's really nice. It also, I thought it had an original inner sleeve. It doesn't have an original inner sleeve. It is a gatefold, $29.99. It is really, really nice. That's U2 War. These are all buy it now best offer. Dwight Yoakam's at 77. Yes is at 50. Going once, going twice on both of those. Greg or John Porter said 20 on Badfinger. That sold to John Porter for $20. We have the Best of the James Gang featuring Joe Walsh, $19.99. Best of the James Gang featuring Joe Walsh, $19.99. Let me update everybody. If you're buying Dwight Yoakam, if you happen to get outbid on this, don't go anywhere. I've got 2, possibly 4 more Dwight Yoakams to autograph tonight. Yes, 2, possibly 4 more, so don't go anywhere. John Porter gets the James Gang for $15. Marshall Bassett's at 80 on Dwight Yoakam. And Yes is now going twice, going 3 times. David Eberly has that for $50. The Main Ingredient, Euphrates River, $29.99. I spoke too soon on Joe Walsh because Lance said he would have took it at sticker price. Too late on that. I've already sold it to John Porter for $15. The Main Ingredient is a quadraphonic press. That's $29.99, Euphrates River. Another Chicago. This is Chicago 6. Chicago 6 is $9.99. Chicago 6. Feeling stronger every day. Chicago 6. Eddie also wanted the James Gang. I sold that one too soon, John. You got a $5 great deal on that. 2 other people said they wanted it for $19.99. All right, new bids on Yes. 55 and now 65. Debbie's out on Dwight Yoakam. The last bid on that was $80. Rydell Martin said he would give $25 for Main Ingredient. Let's sell that to Rydell Martin for $25. And Brent Robley wants Chicago for sticker. Jeff Crowd was second. Miles was third. James Bragg was fourth. Nick Todd is at 70 on Yes. And David Eberly's at 75. So we'll keep going for a couple more minutes. Nostalgia Volume 1. This is a compilation, $9.99. The Mystics, Dion, the Royal Guardsmen, Music Explosion, a little bit of soul. That's a great song. The Jarmels, the Chiffons, Gary and the Pacemakers. That is $9.99. Jackson Brown, Late for the Sky. Jackson Brown, Late for the Sky, $14.99. U.S. Press, very clean. John Porter says he'll take Nostalgia. The high bid on the Yes boot is now $90. Chord of Life. Chord of Life. David said he would give $25 for James Gang. Wow. We need to auction some James Gang. Final call on the Dwight Yoakam. It's autographed by Maria McKee. I think I was saying Maria. Maria McKee. And that is now at final call, which is $80 of Marshall Bassett. Final call, final call. Okay, James Rayner was first to offer 12 for Jackson Brown. Jetstream was second, and Marsha says she'll take it. Marsha's making this tough on y'all. James, let me know if you want it for sticker price. If you do, it's yours for $14.99. If you pass, then Jetstream has dibs. If not, then Marsha gets it for full price. Wow. Pink Floyd metal, a 71 OG Winchester, $49.99. No condition notes on the vinyl. It looks EX Plus, closer to EX Plus than Near Mint Minus. It's about a VG cover. I see some staining. I see a bit of cover wear. That's only $49.99 Pink Floyd metal. It's a 71 OG copy. Yes is now a final call. Yes is at $90. This is between David Eberly and Nick Todd. Nick, if you're ever done bidding, let me know. And it's time to sell Dwight Yoakam. Dwight Yoakam is sold for where was we at on this, Jake? $80 to Marshall Bassett. $80 to Marshall Bassett. And George Buchanan says he'll take Pink Floyd. Nick Todd, let me know if you're done on yes. He's not. He's at 93. They're still bidding on yes, Court of Life. Let's grab our next auction. Several people. So here's what I have on deck. Mountain, Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street. I can't believe no one's asked for Willie Nelson yet. Kentucky Headhunters or the Pink Floyd boot. What else somebody's asked about? Yeah, I know these two have been heavily asked about. Mountain and Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street. That's autographed. So let me show these first. We had a bid of 93 on yes, now 100. Freddie Milford wants U2 War. U2 War. That's sold to Freddie Milford. Todd's officially out on yes. David Eberly has this for $100. Going twice, going three times. Yes, Court of Life. That was a live show from 1972. Very cool Roger Dean artwork. And that's now a final call for $100. Jack White. Carol Puckett put KR. What is KR? I don't know if I've got your abbreviation yet on that, Carol. John requested Willie, Stone, Exile, and Charlie Daniels Band, $18. Let's sell Pete Mitchell, Charlie Daniels Band for $18. $18 on that. Keith. I don't have anything, Keith. We sold a Keith Richards boot last night. Okay, next auction. We have really cool here. What an album to have. What an album to have autographed. Mountain Climbing, Leslie West. It's actually an OG copy. I didn't realize this, but I think is this the one? I think it's autographed by, or it's got Robert Lugwood mastering. No, it's Lee Holko. No wonder this record sounds so good. Lee Holko mastering, and I think side 2, yeah, side 2 is Robert Lugwood, Lee Holko. It wouldn't surprise me if Robert Lugwood had a little bit to do with side 1 too. But this is RL LH mastering on this. It's a 1970 U.S. American Records pressing. It's signed by Leslie West, Mississippi Queen. He played at Woodstock. It's a $95 start. $95 start. It is autographed by Leslie West. Mountain Climbing. That's a $95 start. I think, like I've always said, collecting these, I've seen somebody do it before, post it in a group, trying to collect all the autographed Woodstock performers, which is a task, especially if you don't already have like Janis Joplin and some of those other ones. So that is now up for bid, $95. Let's go ahead and sell yes. Jake, this is sold to David Eberly for $100, the yes boot. Now, here's another incredible auction. This is the Rolling Stones Exile on Main Street. It's a 1972 Pittman press. It's signed by Mick Taylor and Billy Preston. This is also an OG 72 Pittman press that's complete with all 12 postcards. The record by itself is pretty incredible. This is a $195 start. $195 start. It's autographed by Mick Taylor, the guitarist that played on all these classic Stones albums. Autographed by Mick Taylor, and it's also autographed by Billy Preston. $195 start. Rolling Stones Exile on Main Street. Once again, for those that's watching you that may want to bid on these autographs are guaranteed authentic by me and Collectco. If you ever have them authenticated and they come back bad, I'll give you your money back. But these are 100% authentic. I guarantee it. Like I said before, there are some we are working on getting authentications for. Brent's in on 195, and he's also the high bidder on Mountain at 125. Let me go back up to the top, and if I've missed anything, let me know. James Rayner got the Jackson Brown, Jake. Make sure James Rayner got Jackson Brown at sticker price. New Barbarians. Oh, okay, New Barbarians. I got you. The Rolling Stones vinyls, EX Plus, near mint minus. It's a beautiful copy of Exile on Main Street. I've ultrasonically cleaned it. It's also complete with both postcards. Billy Preston did play the keyboard on one of the tracks on here, and of course Mick Taylor played guitar on all of the music. 195 and 125 on those. No Allman Brothers signatures tonight. That is a 72 Pittman pressing. 72 Pittman pressing on the Exile. Okay, we have the Beatles featuring Tony Sheridan. So back to the bin. Everything in here is EX Plus, near mint minus, unless I say otherwise. And this is $19.99. And these are all also buy it now best offer, $19.99. Eric Clapton, August. No, that's not Eric Clapton's autograph. That's somebody's name. $32.99. August, Eric Clapton, $32.99. Christopher Moore says he'll take the Beatles. Benton Bragg is the new bidder on Stones at $250. And we have autographed by Leslie West, the front man of Mountain. Classic album. Great album. Autographed. High bid. Final call. Brent Robley's at $125. If you want to bid, now's your time. The Rolling Stones is at $275. Autographed by Mick Taylor and Billy Preston. Chicago 5. It also has the booklet insert. $14.99. Chicago has flew out of the crate. This one probably will too because it's extremely nice and it has the booklet. $14.99 for Chicago 5. I accidentally just showed it. So let's see what we have here with Van Halen. Van Halen 2 is $44.99. It has the original inner sleeve. $44.99 on Van Halen 2. Perry Wood first to Chicago. Brent second and Mark Fallon third. We also have Joe Walsh, There Goes the Neighborhood, $19.99. Brent's about to get the Mountain record for $125. I think Kevin and Mark have both set out. So unless there's a new bidder that's about to hop on, we're about to sell Mountain for $125. Joe Walsh, there it is. Whoever said they wanted all the Joe Walsh, $19.99 on There Goes the Neighborhood. And Moth the Hoople, this is their self-titled album, $24.99 on Moth the Hoople. That is the OG press, $24.99 on that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Mountain is sold for $125 to Brent Robley. Very cool. They're still bidding on the Stones. Brent's at $275. Benton Bragg at any time. If you say you're done, let me know. Let me put up our next auction, which is going to be the Kentucky Headhunters. This is the Kentucky Headhunters. Not too easy to get. Picking on Nashville. 1989 U.S. Press, near mint minus. 1989 U.S. Press, near mint minus. This is a $45 start. This is the Kentucky Headhunters picking on Nashville. This is a $45 start. It is near mint minus and pristine. It also is a really nice jacket. It just has a generic plastic sleeve. That is now up for bid. We don't get that too often. It's not in print, and I don't think it's ever been reissued. Back up to the top, James Rayner. You're in the same situation, James. You offered $15, but David Schroeder said he would take it at sticker price. James is first. So, James, if you want that for $19.99, just let me know. If you pass, it goes to David Schroeder. Then we're going to sell John Porter, Moth the Hoople, for $20. So this is sold to John Porter for $20. So that's pending on the price, and Moth the Hoople is sold to John Porter for $20. Next is Kentucky Headhunters, $45, now $55. Benton Bragg is at $315 on Exile. Pretty incredible album here, autographed by Mick Taylor and Billy Preston, also known as the Fifth Beatle. This is basically autographed by a Beatle too, Billy Preston. I've got some Beatle albums. I've got an autographed, I think I've seen it. I've looked at so much the last 4 days. I've hardly slept. I mean, I'm averaging 5 hours of sleep. I'm so worked up looking through these albums. It is like I've spent 18 hours a day working and going through these albums. I'm pretty sure I've seen an autographed Billy Preston Let It Be, which is incredible. We'll have that for auction if so. Okay, we have James Rayner said he will take that for $19.99, and then John Porter got that for $20. Brent's back in at $350. Kentucky Headhunter 60, now 62. These are all buy it now best offer. Even Freddie Prinz or Freddie Prinz looking good, $9.99. James Gang passing through a German pressing. $24.99 on the pink probe label, 24. Benton Bragg is outbid. Brent has it for $350. It's between Benton and Brent, it looks like. Corey Hart, boy in the box, shrink wrap and hop sticker with the poster that included it. With the poster, that is $24.99. James Rayner on James Gang. Would have thought an hour average past few days. These records are, I mean, and plus these bootlegs and a lot of these, I'm test playing it, so it's taking a lot of time. James Rayner first right off the bat. He said he'll take the James Gang. No debate. The Best of Buddy Holly, $19.99. That's in shrink wrap. The Best of Buddy Holly and Welcome to My World, Elvis, $9.99. Welcome to My World. Black RCA label, $9.99. I also spoke to our crew, which is Henry, Paul, Tyler, and Tanner. They're in Massachusetts right now, or New Hampshire. Oh my gosh, they already have a trailer full of records. They're going to look at a metal collection in New York City. They're going to look at a KISS collection, which includes toys and action figures and posters and T-shirts. That's something they're looking at tomorrow. It is incredible what we've bought. They're going to be back this weekend or first of the week. Incredible stuff. We're going to have, between now and the end of the year, CollectCo Live is going to be like this, hopefully, every night. Just incredible stuff. I hope you're watching. There's some great stuff. So, Kentucky Headhunters is at 70. John Porter offered 15 for Buddy Holly. Let me make sure nobody else has said anything. They haven't. So sell that to John Porter for 15. Kentucky Headhunter 72. Angela Rachel said she'll take the Elvis. That's sold to Angela. And Kentucky Headhunters is at 80. Benton Bragg, can you let me know if you're in or out on the Stones? Brent Robley has this for 350. If you are out, then let me know. They actually went to Home Depot and bought generators. And Tyler, who's kind of our on-hands guy, he helps us do stuff here. He builds stuff for us. He makes stuff for us. He actually hangs out at the trailer, and they got air conditioning rolling in the trailer. They've went and bought generators. They're keeping everything nice and cool, I promise you. Kentucky Hunt Hunters is at 80. Benton's back in on Exile at 377. One more time. OG Pressing, complete with postcards, autographed by Billy Preston and Mick Taylor of the Rolling Stones. 377 is the high bid. Kentucky Headhunters is at 80. Next is the Best of Wilson Pickett. Very cool. $19.99. The Best of Wilson Pickett. In the Midnight Hour, Mustang Sally, Funky Broadway, Land of a Thousand Dances. He had a lot of great soul hits. Wilson Pickett's $19.99. After the Gold Rush, Neil Young. Having all these new Neil Young records, I've been listening to his catalog. I haven't even shown or told you, but we got some Neil Young albums. We got some Neil Young albums from the 90s that I've never had before. Incredible stuff. And some of them are autographed. Just incredible. Neil Young, After the Gold Rush, $34.99. Back up to the top, we have Sarah Long on WP. That's Wilson Pickett. Sarah got Wilson Pickett. Greg Rogers was second. Greg Rogers was second again. John Porter third. George Buchanan fourth. Sarah, you got that for sticker unless you don't want it, because there's other people who want it for stickers. So let me know if you still want it. And Dan Ray wants Neil Young. I see that you offered 15 later, but there's 4 other people who want it. So if you want it for $19.99, it's yours. Final call on Kentucky Headhunters. If you're done bidding, you definitely need to let me know. Shane Devers has this for 80, and that's a final call. Benton's back in on the Stones at 400. Next is, there they are. We haven't had any in a while because we've been in the Pittsburgh collection, but there's the Moody. Boy, this is a nice cover too. Very little ring wear on this one. A Question of Balance, Moody Blues, $19.99. And, what do we have here? Demu Bigor. It's that death metal that I can't read. $64.99. $64.99 for all Sid, maybe. That is $64.99. It's a 2008 UK on purple vinyl. I told you, I never know when something like this is going to pop up on our sale. I think it's 2 LPs, but here's how this one looks. It's on that splatter vinyl. Perry, I see that you said Van Halen 9. Van Halen is priced for $44.99. That's the price on that. I will take a fair offer on it. Brent's at $500 on the Stones. Oh man, we're going to have to bring out the air horn. I think it's pretty low too. Gary's out on Kentucky Headhunters. Marsha first on the Moody Blues. Kevin second. James Bragg wants the Demu. And Sean said he'd give 55. Already sold to James Bragg. Let's go ahead and sell an auction. Kentucky Hut Hunters is sold to Shane Devers for $80. That's sold to Shane Devers for $80. Benton, I think he's went all in on the stones at 500. So let me know if you're in or out. You can keep bidding. That will be okay with me. Let's put up the sealed Jack White. Somebody asked about this earlier. This is very hard to look up because it's sealed. But I think what gives it away, it's a barcode on the jacket, which tells me it is a 2012 U.S. pressing. It has a barcode sticker according to Discogs. This is sealed Jack White. This is the 2012 pressing, $35 start. Jack White is sealed, and that is called Blunderbuss. $35 start on that. Perry, I can't do 25 on Van Halen, but you're getting closer. Benton still in on Exile, $525. Benton Bragg, $525 on the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street, autographed by Billy Preston, Mick Taylor, 72 OG copy. Kenneth said he'd give $35 on Van Halen. Now, that's something I'll do. Frank Zappa, Transparency. This is a 75 UK copy. The cover has some damage. It looks like it got a little warped. The vinyl is perfectly fine. No condition notes. $29.99, 75 UK pressing. So here's what I'll do on Van Halen. Perry, if you want it for $35, you can have it since you had dibs. If not, I'm going to sell it to Kenneth Jank for $35. So that's either sold to Perry Wood or it's sold to Kenneth Jank. Benton Bragg says, I'm crazy. No, you're not crazy. You just really want it. That's Mick Taylor, Billy Preston, autograph, Exile on Main Street. And now we have a bid on Sarah Long at $35. I've been collecting autographs myself and here lately. And there's been some that I've wanted and I've already been like, man, did I just really buy that? I've been trying to buy some crazy autographs, Albert Einstein and Orville Wright, and the auctions just go crazy. The auctions just go crazy on those. I've almost got caught up in a couple, and you might be asked, Chad, why are you bidding on an Albert Einstein autograph? I don't know. I'm crazy, right, Jake? Jake's over here laughing. Why am I bidding on an Albert Einstein autograph? Probably because I went and watched Oppenheimer. And I'm sitting there watching Oppenheimer, and I'm like, man, how crazy would it be to have Albert Einstein's autograph? So then I get on eBay and Heritage, and I start bidding on stuff, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm addicted. So, but if you want something, how cool. How many Albert Einstein autographs are there out there? Brent Robley is at $550 on that. Final call on Jack White at $35. The Kinks, great album here. Power Man and the Money Garoon, Lola versus those two. This is a very complicated title. It's a VG copy for $14.99. Sherry's at $40 on Jack White, and we have Tommy the Who, $34.99. I've been trying to buy a poster that's autographed by Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. It's a record store poster advertising No Quarter. It's autographed by Page and Plant. I've been talking to the guy. It's something stupid, but I'm like, well, how often am I going to get a chance to buy that? Trying to get all four of Led Zeppelin's autographs together on something is incredible. You can't do that. Well, you can, but it's expensive. You're talking, what, $8,000, $10,000 for an autographed Led Zeppelin album? Super, super expensive. Super, super expensive. Just like if there was, you add Mick Jagger or Keith Richards on this album, we would be over 1,000 probably. Add a few more signatures on that, well over 1,000. So, okay, we have Jack White's at 40, Jack White's at 42. We're going to sell Ben the Kinks for $12. Dress my 6-year-old as Albert Einstein. You could have used that. I could have got her autograph. That would have been a lot cheaper. Ed Nelson, you did get Zappa. Yes, Ed Nelson, you got the Zappa record. Tommy condition, George Buchanan, there is no condition notes on it. It is an MCA press. It is an MCA press, which is a later pressing or the second label. That's the second label. The vinyl looks very nice, though. The vinyl looks very nice. Exiles at $551. Marsha, you were second to the Kinks. I've already sold it to somebody for $12. And let's see here. We have Tommy's $34.99. $34.99. Okay, let's go through this crate one more time. Wow, y'all have about wiped out that crate of Buy It Now Best Offer. I've got more new vinyl after this. We still got auctions to do all night. Let's sell George Buchanan, Tommy for $28. Tommy for $28. Brent's at, or Benton's at $5.51. He pulled the Price is Right trick on you. Let's see here. Any Deep Purple or Aerosmith? I know we have some very cool Aerosmith stuff, but I haven't seen any autographs. Kenneth gets Van Halen for $35. Yes. I don't think he asked what condition Van Halen was in. The vinyl's EX Plus. Perry Wood, who was making an offer, it's EX Plus. He said he'll take it. Perry Wood got the Van Halen. Kenneth, you're second on that one. Rolling Stones at $5.52. Rolling Stones is at $5.52. We have Jack White's at $48. Sarah Long, let me know if you're in or out on that. Let me go ahead and get a third auction started. It's going to get crazy, but we've got way too much to auction, and let's get another one going. Sorry, I'm talking fast. I'm all hopped up on Diet Mountain Dew. And I'll put up something that I think should be mellow, but it may go crazy. I don't know. But I'll put up something mellow so we don't have too much crazy going on. We have Classic Yes. Classic Yes. This is a 1981 U.S. pressing. It's in shrink wrap with hop sticker. It has the original Atlantic inner sleeve, and it has the bonus 45 that came with it. That's going to be a $25 start. I listened to it. It is near mint minus and pristine. Shrink wrap includes bonus 33 and a third RPM. Single with unreleased live versions of Roundabout. I've seen All Good People. Your Move, All Good People. This is in shrink wrap. It does have the 45. That's a $25 start. There's a somewhat of a mellow auction, but you never know. It may go crazy. Let's go back up to the top. This is most likely not colored vinyl. No, if this was the tour exclusive, it would be very, very expensive, like a couple hundred plus. I think it's black vinyl. It has a barcode over the shrink wrap, but like I said, it's very hard to determine on these. You may get lucky if you open it, but I'm pretty sure it's just black vinyl. But it is the 2012. It is the 2012. Waiting on William Floyd. I'll put those on deck. Okay, Willie's on deck, yes. Jack White's at 48. Stones is at 555. Classic Yes is at 30. Yes is at 25. Jack White's at 50. Yes is at 25. Yes is at 40. Jack White's at 55. Now we're waiting for Brent's move on the Stones. High bid's 555. Here's what's left in this crate of vintage Buy It Now Best Offer. Ringo Starr, Buku of Blues, gatefold on the Apple label. That's $34.99. These are all Buy It Now Best Offer. Here's what was left. Jimmy Smith, The Boss, Black Verve label, $24.99. Brent's back in on the Stones at $560. The Rascals, C. The Rascals is $14.99. The barcode is 886919599312. Or you can screenshot the screen right now if you're watching on your phone. 886919599312. High bid is Sherry Darnell at $55. Final call on Yes. Kevin Moore has this for $40. Shrink wrap hop sticker near mint minus with the bonus 45. Slave, The Concept, $19.99. Exiles at $5.99. Have no fear, Big Joe Turner is here. $26.99 on Big Joe Turner. This is Diana Ross and the Supremes with the Temptations together. $9.99. Yes is at 45. Yes is at 45. Jefferson Starship Earth near mint with the inner sleeve. $14.99. The Doors is still available. Soft Parade, $34.99. $34.99. I'll go ahead and let you in on a hint. I already told somebody I would take $28 for it. If anybody wants The Doors, $28. Eric Clapton, I'm sorry, has some writing on it. I can't do anything about that. It's a copy of August, though. Very nice, $32.99. I think Phil Collins plays on here. I think Phil Collins plays on this album. $32.99 on that. Jetstream says he'll take the Supremes. Sarah's out on Joe Walsh, so now we're on a final call. Sherry Darnell has Joe Walsh for $55. Final call. Scott Drum is the new high bidder on Yes at $50. Ed Nelson said he'll take BJT. Big Joe Turner sold to Ed Nelson. Next is Freddie Prines, looking good, $9.99. And Corey Hart, Boy in the Box, shrink wrap, hop sticker, and poster, $24.99. Let's go through some new vinyl. The Doors is not OG. It's on the Butterfly label. I'm pretty sure this should be on a... Well, what is the OG label for this album? I don't think it's the Butterfly label, though. I don't think it's the Butterfly label. Not Joe Walsh, Jack White. Yes, Jack White. Thank you, Carol. Jack White is at $55 with Sherry Darnell. Final call. They're still bidding on yes. And Benton Bragg is Brent Ribley's at $560 on the Stones. Brent Ribley's at $560 on the Stones. Corey Hart. It does not have sunglasses at night. I can tell you that. It does not have sunglasses at night. Okay, new vinyl for tonight. I have new vinyl for you tonight. Let's go through some of that. And then I've got more vintage, but we've got incredible auctions going. OG Fedora's Red Electra. Red Electra? I thought that was later. I thought that was, I also need to go grab my Diet Mountain Dew if I'm already hopped up enough. Jersey Mike's was like a kickstart for me. I almost didn't stop there on my way here because I was already running late because I haven't slept in 4 days. I think y'all know, as collectors and music lovers too, imagine if somebody dropped off 6,000 albums at your house and said, have fun. These are all rare promos, imports, bootlegs, and autographs. You don't have any idea what's in here. Y'all probably would call out sick from work, take a vacation. That's what I've been dealing with the last 3 or 4 days. I had 6,000 incredible albums dropped off essentially at my house. And it's been like, wow, what should I do? It's been crazy. Okay, next is... First, let's sell Jack White. I keep saying Joe Walsh. Jack White is sold to Sherry Darnell, Jake, for $55. That's sold to Sherry Darnell for $55. We're on a final call on yes. Scott Drum has this for $50. John and Marcia and everybody else, let me know if you're in or out. John's already said out. We're at $50 on Scott Drum. $50 on that final call. The Stones, Benton Bragg wants to know where we're at. Where are we at? The Stones is at let me figure out where we're at. Sorry. Benton Bragg put $5.99. Benton Bragg put $5.99. Have we heard from Brent since then? Benton's at $5.99. Okay. $5.99. So, yeah, we're waiting on word from Brent. If he's already said out, I missed it. So Benton Bragg's at $5.99. Let's sell Scott Drum yes for $50. So Sherry Darnell got that for $55, Jake, and Scott Drum's got this for $50. Brent's back in at $625. Okay, how much did I pay for them? I hope you're not actually seriously asking. Okay, Willie Nelson, Texas in My Soul. Willie Nelson is autographed. This is I'll put it this way. It was, it's very expensive. 1968 U.S. stereo press, EX Plus, near mint minus. Now, this is a really tough to get record, especially in this condition. It's an OG stereo press, okay? Pretty tough to get album. It's autographed by Willie Nelson to make it even better. $250 start. Willie Nelson, Texas in My Soul. I was looking at comps for autographed albums and autographed pictures and autographed index cards. This is a pretty tough to get album. Texas in My Soul. And it's a 68 U.S. stereo press. 68 U.S. stereo press. EX Plus, near mint minus. Super clean vinyl. $250 start. So, like I say, this album is already kind of a challenge to get. It's a pretty expensive album by itself. I would say $50, $75 in this condition. $50, $75 in this condition. And then it's autographed. $250 start by Willie Nelson. Pretty legible. Okay, back up to the top. We have $5.99 on the Stones. $6.25 on the Stones. And we have Willie Nelson at $250. Let's do this first crate of new vinyl, or second crate of new vinyl. Cody Jinks, I'm Not the Devil. Cody Jinks is $44.99. I'm Not the Devil. I've got 3 copies. This is the 2016 etched. They're $44.99. Kenny Cates Jr. Kenny Cates Jr., you was on a waiting list for that. I've already got one pulled for you. This is Cody Jinks, I'm Not the Devil. That is a 2016 etched. I've got some audiophile stuff. I didn't know I could get these anymore. Eric Clapton Unplugged. Mobile Fidelity 1-step, $144.99. Eric Clapton Unplugged, $144.99. MoFi Ultra Disc 1-step, now on Super Vinyl, $144.99. That is Eric Clapton Unplugged. Also from MoFi, we have Run DMC, Raising Hell, MoFi, fairly new release, $69.99. Bit and Bragg is at $650. Bit and Bragg's at $650 on Exile on Main Street. And Willie Nelson, Texas in My Soul, Brent Robley has that for $250. Going once, going twice, Willie Nelson. Are they numbered, Clapton? Yes, they should be numbered. This is number 8,373. The other Eric Clapton is number 8,378. Those are $144.99. Eric Clapton Unplugged, Mo Fidelity 1-step. This is Cinderella Night Songs, $38.99. Music on vinyl, Cinderella Night Songs, $38.99 for that. And another Mobile Fidelity 1-step. This is Crosby, Stills & Nash, $144.99. Crosby, Stills & Nash, self-titled, Mobile Fidelity 1-step Super Vinyl, $44.99. I can't tell you how incredible these 2 records sound. They sound absolutely incredible. Brent, it's your call on the Stones. Bent and Bragg is at $650. It's your call. It's your call. Bent has that for $650. We're going to go ahead and say going twice, going 3 times, because unless Brent bids, if he says out, I'm going to go ahead and sell it. So if you're thinking about bidding on this, now's the time, because if Brent says out, I'm going to go ahead and lay it over here and say sold. Jeff's back in on Willie Nelson at $255. Brent's back in at $660. Jeff's in on Willie Nelson at $255. Belinda and Jason Dobb. Jason Dobb says he'll take a Clapton Unplugged. That's sold to Jason Dobb. Thank you. There's Crosby, Stills & Nash. I got more Blackstone Cherry in. Blackstone Cherry is $39.99. That is black vinyl, new and sealed, Blackstone Cherry. Blackstone Cherry. And Ryan Christie, nope, not on that one. I have another Blackstone Cherry. This is just self-titled, black vinyl, music on vinyl, Blackstone Cherry, $39.99. Benton, you're outbid on the Stones. Brent has it at $660. And Brent, you're outbid on Willie Nelson. Jeff has that at $255. Extreme Porno Graffiti, $39.99 for Extreme Porno Graffiti. And Daniel, Run DMC is $69.99. MoFi Super Vinyl, Raising Hell. I sold out of that the last time. We had 5 copies of that come in originally. I sold them all the first day. Those are gone. All right, let me start another auction. Let's do another Dwight Yoakam, actually, since I think those bidders are on tonight. Let's do Dwight Yoakam. This is Buenas Noches in a Lonely Room. Buenas Noches in a Lonely Room. 1986 U.S. pressing. This is a club. It's a BMG Direct, near mint minus. This is also signed by Maria. I don't know why I keep messing that up. Maria McKee. It's also autographed by Maria McKee on the back. This is autographed by Maria McKee, also just like the other one was. $35 star. So the Guitars Cadillacs was autographed by Maria. This is also autographed by Maria. Maria McKee. It is autographed. The vinyl's near mint minus. Buenas Noches from a Lonely Room. The vinyl's near mint minus. There's the original inner sleeve. It's in shrink wrap. There is the cover, which is very nice. The Stones is at $660. The Stones is at $700. Ed Nelson wants Blackstone Cherry. Willie Nelson's at $260. Autographed Willie Nelson's at $260. Run DMC is not on colored vinyl. No, this is from MoFi. This is from Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. Black vinyl, super vinyl, $69.99. Willie Nelson's at $265. The Stones is signed by Billy Preston and Mick Taylor. I'm going to show it one more time before we actually do a final call on it. Blackstone Cherry, Folklore and Superstition. We did have somebody waiting on this one. Folklore and Superstition. Ryan Christie, you was on a waiting list. This is colored vinyl. This is limited edition of 1500 on gold and black colored vinyl. It is actually numbered on the back, and it has a book with it, $44.99. $44.99. I've only got one copy of this for more audiophile collectors. Muddy Waters Folk Singer. This is from Analog Productions, 33 1/3, cut from the Analog Masters, $49.99. Wow, has nobody bid on Dwight Yoakam yet? Dwight Yoakam is a $35 starting bid. Buenas noches from a lonely room, and it's autographed by Maria. Boy, why can't I say her name? Maria McKee. That's a $35 start. Okay, the Stones is now at $710, and Willie Nelson is at $276. That's autographed by Willie Nelson. Texas in My Soul. Jeff has that for $276. Benton's at $711 on Exile, and Rich Recor first on Muddy Waters. Patty K and Sean Jones. Patty K and Sean Jones, if you want on a waiting list, let me know. Let me know. That is at, that one sold to Rich Recor, Patty, and Sean on waiting list if they're okay with it. Kenny's at $35 on Dwight Yoakam. George is at $40. Shane Devers is at $28 on Willie Nelson. Patty says she's okay with a waiting list. More Cinderella, Long Cold Winter, new and sealed music on vinyl. Very nice copies, also great sounding, $38.99. And I've got more MoFi from Bill Evans with Jim Hall, Undercurrent. Bill Evans with Jim Hall, $36.99. Alan Jonathan on Blackstone Cherry. I'm assuming you wanted the Folklore and Superstition, so sell that to Alan Jonathan. Only one person, two people on that Muddy Waters. Don't put Sean Jones, but you can put Stephen Tuttle and Patty K. Cars Whiskey. I just usually say Patty K. That's a lot easier. Put those on a waiting list for Muddy Waters. That is Folk Singer from Analog Productions. Okay, we got a lot of activity on the auction block. First, let me get everybody up to speed on the Stones. This is the Rolling Stones album, Exile on Main Street. By the way, I don't know if anybody's going to watch Jimmy Fallon tonight, but the Stones are going to be on Jimmy Fallon tonight. They announced today they're coming out with an album of new material. First time since 2005. The Rolling Stones are coming out with a new album, and I hope that they go on tour, and I hope they come to Nashville again. I will see them for the third time. I bet some of y'all have seen them a bunch. They're coming out with a new album. It was announced today, Hackney Diamonds. This is autographed by Mick Taylor, the guitarist who played on all the classic Stones albums, all the ones that I like, and it's autographed by Billy Preston. Yes, the Billy Preston, the fifth Beatle, the keyboard player. He played on a couple tracks on this album, at least one track, maybe two. That is the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street. High bid is $711 with Benton Bragg. That is 7111. And Brent is waiting to bid again, or he may say out. We also have a pretty tough to get Willie Nelson album. This is a 1968 US stereo copy. The vinyl's really clean. Texas in My Soul. It's up for bid. The high bid is Shane Devers at $280. Shane Devers at $280. The autographed Dwight Yoakam, it's autographed by Maria McKee, also known as the lead singer of Lone Justice. She also did a backup vocals on one track on this album. The high bid on that was $40 with George Buchanan. High bid on that was $40. And Kenneth Jank wants a Bill Evans. The Bill Evans, who asked Chris Ferrara, this is called Bill Evans with Jim Hall Undercurrent. It's sealed MoFi. Kenneth Jank wants one. I've got one left. I will be posting the pre-order on the Stones album, yes. Let's see here. Inner sleeves. Can you put Jared Benoit down for a pack of inner sleeves? And let's see here. So Dwight's at 40. Willie's at 280. The Stones is at 712. 712. Wolfmother, $54.99. Wolfmother from Music on Vinyl. Great metal album, $54.99, hard rock metal. And this is a new release there was a pre-order for. This is called Lifehouse. First time on vinyl. You and Me and Blind are their hit songs. I know y'all have heard, I think You and Me is the big hit. Lifehouse, first time on vinyl, $38.99. This was originally out in 2005. That's why it's first time on vinyl, $38.99. The pre-order for Lifehouse was Brandon Sanders, Jerry Stone, James Bragg, Craig Ruth, James Rayner, and Emily Lockhart. Emily Lockhart. Yes, we will be posted. I hope that they do an indie exclusive for the Stones. If so, we will have it here at CollectCo. Don't order it from the Rolling Stones, Mike. You know better than that. Order it from CollectCo. Okay, we're done on Willie Nelson. I don't think anybody really set out, but I've got to sell it. Shane Devers gets the Willie Nelson for $280, and I guess we're done on Dwight Yoakam. Usually this would bring $40 or $60, $70 by itself. It's autographed, and this is sold to George Buchanan for $40. I think everybody's all cross-eyed of the amazing stuff that we're showing tonight. Those auctions are done. The Stones is at 712 with Brent Robley. It's time for a bootleg. Let's do something that I know several people are waiting on. This is an REM unofficial. It's a 1988 Australian press unofficial bootleg. Larry's Hideaway. Live from Larry's Hideaway. This is a $65 start. $65 start. REM Larry's Hideaway. That's a live and more. Now, I don't know what the rest of it is. I know Discogs said three sides is live from Larry's Hideaway, and I don't know what the bonus tracks are. I really don't know. It'll be a surprise. This sticker will peel off. I got started on it, and it's going to peel off, but I kind of stopped because I didn't have enough time. That's a original retail price tag. It said Jerry's, which I think is a record store. This guy bottled all this stuff up. Yes, it's also known as Mata Mata. Yes, Mata Mata, REM. So that's up for bid, $65 start. And it's very, very nice. It is near mint minus, and this jacket's really cool. It's very glossy, very, very nice. Okay, that's up for bid. Back up to the top, Exiles at 713, REM's at 65, REM's at 85, and we have Creed, My Own Prison. Creed is $31.99, My Own Prison. I've got 2 copies left, $31.99. Had more of those come in. Lillian McCurry wants a Lifehouse. That's sold to Lillian McCurry. All right, they're still bidding on REM. They're still bidding on Stones. We got 2 great auctions up. I got a whole crate over here. Tomorrow, John will be back. We'll have new vintage arrivals priced from this collection, from the Pittsburgh collection. I'm going to start on new auctions tonight. Everything will be posted tomorrow, what we're selling. I'll try to do a video. And, of course, we'll have new vinyl. We'll have new vinyl. So let's... REM is at 85 with Mark Fallon. We have 3 bidders. Mark is the high bidder at 85, and Benton's at 713 on Exile. Scotty Hypes wants Creed. Great album. Great album with Creed, My Own Prison. Okay, here's what's left in this bin. Some stuff I'm surprised we still have. Cody Jinks is available. These are not too easy to get sometimes. I'm Not the Devil, 2016 etched, $44.99. Eric Clapton Unplugged, $144.99. If you want a greater listening experience, get there right there. It'll sound like you're in front of them, listening to them right in front of you. Todd Tipton said he'll take a Creed. George Buchanan's at 90 on REM. We still got the Run DMC's Raising Hell, $69.99 from MoFi, Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. MoFi is a great thing to store away. I mean, if you're buying these to collect them, that's great, because y'all seen this week already what some sealed MoFis have sold for. Santana Abraxas, we sold it for a little under $300. MoFi has always been a great thing people has collected. I know a lot of people who buy one and keep one sealed, because some of these things, when they go out of print, they can get expensive. Brent, the Stones is at 713. The Stones is at 713. Benton is bidding on YouTube, by the way. He's at 713. Exile on Main Street. Autographed by Billy Preston and Mick Taylor. It's also an OG copy, beautiful vinyl, and it has all 12 postcards. It has all 12 postcards. Brent's at 714. They're doing $1 bumps. We might be here all night. I need somebody to go ahead and say 900 or something so we can go ahead and bump this thing up. Mark Fallon's at 100 on REM. We still got Cinderella, which is Night Songs, $38.99. Crosby, Stills, and Nash is $144.99. Blackstone Cherry, $39.99. James Bragg wants a Run DMC. Run DMC is $69.99, Alan. I've got one left, $69.99. Extreme, Porno Graffiti, $39.99. One copy of Blackstone Cherry left, Folklore and Superstition, $44.99. We still have Cinderella. We got one Bill Evans left, Wolf Mother, and Lifehouse. Alan Johnson said he'll take the Run DMC. Brent says he's already done some $100 bumps. That's true. Brent's back in at 714. We have somebody out on REM. Mark Fallon's at 100. Final call on the REM boot. Todd Tipton wants Blackstone Cherry MOV. Now, Todd, there's 2 different ones. There's 2 different Blackstone Cherries. There's self-titled and Folklore and Superstition. Just let me know which title. Todd Tipton. There's Folklore and Superstition is colored vinyl, and Self-Titled is black vinyl. They're both music on vinyl. Benton's back in at $725. Mike Massey's at $125 on REM. Cinderella is on black vinyl. And you have one more bin of new vinyl. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But it's a compilation bin. I've went through stuff. I've went through new vinyl that we've shown before, but stuff we haven't shown in a long time. I don't have new stuff, but it's a great reminder of stuff we have in stock. Okay, here's another crate of vintage buy it now best offer. This is another great crate. We almost sold everything in the last bin. Let's go through these. Incredible vintage stuff, and it's technically on sale. Buy it now best offer. I'll trust your pick on the 3 Blackstone Cherry. Well, I'll give you the limited and numbered colored one because I don't know if I can get any more of those because they're limited, numbered, and colored. So I'll give you Folklore and Superstition. It seems like it's been the most popular too, so I'll sell that to Todd Tipton. Did somebody else take that other Run DMC? Did you get an Alan Jonasson on Run DMC, or was that James Bragg's? Yeah, that's Alan Jonason's. Okay. Yeah, both have been pulled. All right, so there we go on that. 725 REM 125. We have, how much was the White Cinderella? That is $38.99. Stones is at $750. And Mark is out on REM. Mike Massey has it for $125. The Shanias have not come in yet. These are all buy it now best offer. Bob Seger, 9 to 9, $29.99. These are buy it now best offer from some vintage bins I pulled in the back. This has the original inner sleeve. You can buy them now or you can make your best offer. Seeger's $29.99. The Yardbirds Great Hits. The Yardbirds Great Hits. Orange Epic label, $19.99. John Porter says he'll take Cinderella. He wants the white Cinderella, which is Long Cold Winter. Long Cold Winter. That is sold. If anybody else wants one, let me know. Joe Maynard's the new bidder on REM at $130, and Debbie Blair said she'd give $15 for the Yardbirds. Wishbone Ash, New England, $19.99 for Wishbone Ash, New England, and Jefferson Starship Dragonfly, $14.99. Let's go ahead and sell Debbie the Yardbirds for $15. Exile on Main Street's at $799. Brent Robley, you are outbid. Benton Bragg has that for $799. We now have a battle going on REM. Mike Massey's right back in at $140. I need to go ahead and get a third auction started because I feel like we're on the tail end of at least one, but we may not be. Let's do another, man, what do I have over here? Do I have, I do have some more, let's do another autograph. This is autographed by Randy California and Ed Cassidy of Spirit. Randy California and Ed Cassidy of Spirit. This is autographed. It's also a great album, Spirit, The 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. And that's going to be a $35 start. $35 start. This is signed by Randy California and Ed Cassidy. Spirit, The 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. Ed Nelson's in right off the bat at $35. We have REM 140. We had a bid of AS for 10. That was, AS was, what was AS, Edward Star Wars? He meant Starship, maybe. JS, Jefferson Starship. Sold out to Edward Star Wars for $10. Then we had an $11 offer, but I've already sold it to him for $10. Bob Seger for $12. I can't do that. It's marked $29.99. Brent's out on the Stones. Starship 10. New Barbarians is on deck. REM is at $142. Spirits $135. REM at $150. Okay, so we have Exile on Main Street. This is going twice, going 3 times now because Brent's out. Benton Bragg has the Stones Exile on Main Street for $799. OG Press, autographed by Billy Preston and Mick Taylor. Very clean, very nice vinyl, EX Plus Near Mint Minus, and it's complete with postcards. High bid is Benton Bragg at $799. And that's a final call. That's a final call. Spirits at $35 of Ed Nelson, and REM's at $150 with Mike Massey. That's between George and Mike right now. So Bob Seger, I will take bids, but I will take offers on that, but they've got to be a little bit more than 12. There's Wishbone Ash. Wings, Paul McCartney and Wings Wildlife, $24.99. This is on the black Capital label, very clean looking vinyl, $24.99 on Wings. The Ray Charles Story, 14 all-time great hits by The Genius. Ray Charles Volume 4, that is $19.99. the Four Seasons Story. The Four Seasons is EX condition, $17.99. Jake, do you know where the air horn is? We're going to need it. I'm going to have to order some new one. This collection, the air horn is going to be a frequent thing, but our policy, unless the buyer denies it, I've had a couple people said, please don't blow the air horn. I don't want to wake up my dogs. Well, go ahead and brace your dogs, because it's our policy. If we sell a record for more than $500 at auction, we have to blow this air horn. So this is going to be put up for auction. We're going to have some serious records over the next several months of the year, and you're probably going to be seeing the air horn quite often. There's going to be a lot of $500 plus auctions. It's going to be hopefully a common thing, especially with some of the incredible promos and autographs and stuff like that. So this is sold to Benton Bragg for $799. $799. Here's your celebratory air horn. Yeah, it's getting a little low. It feels like there's about that much left. We've blown that a lot in the last half of the year. Hopefully a lot more to come. Jake, tag that for $799 to Benton Bragg. Benton Bragg. That gave Brent shivers when he heard that. He went, ooh, maybe I should have bid 800. If I would have bid 801, that might have done it. Spirits at 36, Spirits at 40. John Porter offered $15 for Ray Charles. Let's sell John Porter, Ray Charles for $15. George Buchanan wants the 4 Sea Worms. He meant 4 seasons. Sell that to George Buchanan. Next is Final Call on Spirit. Where are we at? George is out on REM. Mike Massey, you have that for $150. That's a final call. Mike Massey has that for $150. Final call. Spirit is a final call. Autograph Spirit. Ed Nelson has it for $40. Pamela Yeager, let me know if you want in or out. Pamela's back in at $42. Wishbone Ash. Eric, Wishbone Ash is $19.99, New England. These are all buy it now, best offer. Roger Daltrey, Best Bits, VG Plus condition, $12.99 for Roger Daltrey Best Bits. That's his greatest hits. And Foghat, Rock and Roll Outlaws. That's a VG Plus $9.99. This is sold for $150, the REM unofficial, to Mike Massey for $150. Spirit is still getting bids. We're at $45. Let me grab our next auctions. We have John Prine, though, first. John Prine is VG Plus $24.99. Al Green has already been sold. Next is the New Barbarians. The New Barbarians was a group of Rolling Stones members. This is a bootleg. It's called the New Barbarians. Breathe On. I've actually printed out some information from Discogs. This is a 1980 UK unofficial. EX Plus to Near Mint Minus. It's a $45 start. Here's the information I printed straight off Discogs. These are live recordings. This was the first album by the New Barbarians. Has some information here. This was recorded live at the Capitol Theater, Largo, Maryland, USA, May of '79. First ever release of the historic show. Ronnie Wood, Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. New Barbarians is up for bid. That's 2 LPs. I've cleaned it and got them in new anti-statics for you. And yes, that's the New Barbarians, members of the Rolling Stones. And I've got the information there about it from Discogs. That is gone. Mark Fallon, the Pink Floyd boot is from a 1977 show, and it sounds incredible. I listened to it. It sounds incredible. It's straight from the soundboard. Oakland 77 is the Pink Floyd boot. Back on top, Spirit is at 42. Spirit's at 45. Wishbone Ash, we had a $15 offer. Let's sell this to Scott Joachim-Staller for $15. Pamela Yeager's at 46 on Spirit. Ed Nelson's at 47. Scott Poling wants John Prine. Scott, if you're a first-time buyer, thank you and welcome. We need you to make sure we get your information, Scott, if you're a first-time buyer. We need to send you a link to our website where you can fill out our first-time buyer form. And if you need that, let us know. If you have Facebook, please send us a message. Jake, do you have that link, first-time buyer form? If not, maybe you can text Tanner right quick. I talked to Tanner early this morning and meant for him to send you all those links. Scott, but make sure we get your information, okay? Make sure we get your information, all right? Please make sure the way we do things here, I'll explain that in 1 second. That's so to Scott. Carl DeLacy wants Foghat. Carl DeLacy wants Foghat. The New Barbarians is at 60. Spirits at 48. We have Spirits at 49. We have Jeffrey McCall on Wings. Jeffrey McCall on Wings. Let me find that right here. Jeffrey McCall on wings. That's sold to Jeffrey McCall. Spirits at 51, spirits at 52. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's say spirits at $52 with Ed Nelson. Spirits at $52 with Ed Nelson. And the New Barbarians is at 60 with Carol Puckett. That's going twice, going 3 times. And Trey Tidwell has the Metallica autographed Kill 'Em All. High bid is $475 to Trey Tidwell. Final call. Trey's stepping up his game tonight. $475, bringing out the checkbook for autographed Metallica. Wow. The Ozark Mountain Daredevils, it's alive. Ozark Mountain Daredevils is EX2299. EX2299. Dire Straits Communique. Dire Straits is EX condition, $24.99 for Dire Straits. Okay, I'm about to sell the New Barbarians to Carol Puckett for $60. New Barbarians boots, a final call. They're still bidding on Spirit for $55 and $56. Scott, make sure we get that information from you. If you can message a page. If not, we'll share that link in just a second. But while I'm grabbing the new auction, let me tell everybody how we do things around here. We sell live 6 nights a week right here on Facebook. That is every night, $7 unlimited shipping. The new billing cycle starts on Mondays. So on Mondays, we do new billing cycle on Mondays. Anything you buy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, $7 unlimited shipping. There's the link to our website. Van Morrison, live in Milano is our next auction. This is Van Morrison, live in Milano. I could tell, when I'm researching prices on bootlegs, I can tell if they get pricey, then that's a good sounding record, and it is. This is Van Morrison, live in Milano, November 6, 1983. It's a 1983 UK unofficial. They only made 400 of them. $65 start. This is EX Plus. EX Plus. It says on the back, I think, limited to 400. Van Morrison. Never seen this before. Limited edition 400. Only 400 press. That's a vintage Van Morrison bootleg from 1983, and that's when the concert's from. That is a $65 start. Okay. Spirit, autographed Spirit. That's by Randy California and Ed Cassidy. Pamela's at 57. Ed Nelson was at 60. We have Joshua said he'll take Wolf Mother. Let me go ahead and pull that. If you have a tax exemption form, we will take it. Yes, if you have a tax exemption form, we have to take it. Yes. That's sold to Joshua, the Wolf Mother. Joshua, Wolf Mother sold to you. Spirit 6162. Van Morrison 83. Spirit 63. Spirit 65. Carol Puckett, you get the New Barbarians. That is sold to Carol for $60. So that means Van Morrison's now in slot number 1. George Buchanan's at $85. Spirit's at $65. And Lily McCurry wants Dire Straits. Lily McCurry wants Dire Straits. Yes, it's a great sounding boot. Van Morrison's a great sounding boot. It sounds like it's soundboard. It has to be. It has to be. I listen to most of these boots. I won't be able to listen to all of them. We have thousands, but I'm going to try to listen to the ones for sure we're going to auction, which will be most of them. I'm going to mute my mic for 1 second. Okay, I'm back. We got 2 auctions going. As soon as these get wrapped up, I'll do some more. So let's go through some new vintage buy it now best offer. We have Spirit at 66 and now 70, and Van Morrison's at 90. Van Morrison's at 90. Delaney and Bonnie and Friends on tour of Eric Clapton. This is a VG copy for $14.99. Delaney and Bonnie and Friends on tour of Eric Clapton. VG copy for $14.99. Another Dire Straits, Making Movies, VG Plus condition, $22.99. VG Plus condition, $22.99. Van Morrison, 90, now 99. Peter Gabriel is EX, $32.99. Peter Gabriel has the original inner sleeve, EX condition, $32.99. That's Peter Gabriel's 4th album. Peter Gabriel plays live. This is VG Plus, $29.99. VG Plus, $29.99. So Peter Gabriel 4 and Peter Gabriel Alive. The Alive is Ozark Mountain Daredevils. That's EX $22.99 on that. Lily McCurry wants DB. I bet she meant Delaney and Bonnie. That's so to Lily McCurry. Marshall Bassett wants Dire Straits. That's sold to Marshall Bassett. Leslie Holt wants Peter Gabriel live. Spirits at 71. Spirits at 72. Final call on Van Morrison. Michael Bohannon. Let me know if you're in or out. George Buchanan has that for 99. Spirits at 72 with Ed Nelson. We have the Jay Giles Band Showtime. VG copy, $9.99. The Fifth Dimension, Greatest Hits on Earth. VG Plus condition, $9.99. Michael's back in on Van Morrison at 110. Johnny Cash, Greatest Hits Volume 1. This is a VG copy, $9.99. Does anybody know what the Al Green Sunvolt went for? Al Green, is that, I hope you mean two different auctions. Al Green sold, Sunvolts hadn't been auctioned yet. Spirits at 75. The Hit Sound of the Everly Brothers. That's VG Plus $14.99. The Hit Sound of the Everly Brothers. VG Plus $14.99. And Bob Dylan and the Band, 2LP, VG Plus $29.99. Spirit, they're still bidding on it. 72, 73. Edward, you offered 22 for Peter Gabriel. One of them sold, but let me know which one you was offering 22 for. Van Morrison's at 120 with George Buchanan, and Edward Star Wars wants the Everly Brothers for $10. That's sold to Edward Star Wars. Let me put up a third auction because I feel like we're going to be bidding on these two for a while. Here's what I have in my auction bin. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Paul McCartney, Jimmy Page, Albert Lee, and John Paul Jones. Southern Culture on the Skids, Sunvolt, Pink Floyd, Brian Setzer, Sunvolt, Roxy Music, David Lee Roth, Van Morrison, Bruce Springsteen, Dwight Yoakam, the Archies, Van Morrison, Larry Murray, and another autographed mountain record. Yes, I've got another autographed mountain record. I don't know if we'll get to it tonight because that was the only thing in here that was not featured. Let's put up one of those Sunvolt records because I've got two of them and it looks like there's some people interested. This one's a little bit more difficult to find than the other one I have. Sunvolt is a 1998 U.S. pressing. This is the OG first press, near mint minus. This is Sunvolt Wide Swing Tremolo. It also includes a record flat with it. It includes this record store record flat with it. The vinyl is near mint minus and pristine. White Warner Brothers, that is a $95 start. 1988 U.S. near mint minus. OG first press, $95 start. That is up for bid. Back up to the top, we have Spirit at 76. Spirit at 76. Joe Hawkins said he'd give $6.99 for Johnny Cash. Sell that to Joe Hawkins for $6.99. Spirits at 77. Floyd, Sunvolt, Floyd, David Lee Roth, Southern Culture. Van Morrison's at 130. Let's see here. We have Van Morrison out with George Buchanan. So Michael Bohannon has the Van Morrison for 130, going once, going twice. Pamela's out on Spirit, and Todd Tipton said he'd get 15 on Peter Gabriel. My best price on this Peter Gabriel would be $26 if you want it, Todd, that Peter Gabriel. The other one's sold. That one's marked $32.99. Okay, so Sunvolt is a $95 start. But first, let me do a final call on the autographed Randy California and Ed Cassidy. This is with Ed Nelson at $77. Spirit, autographed by Randy California and Ed Cassidy. That is at $77, and that's a final call. Also a final call is Van Morrison. This is Michael Bohannon's for $130. Michael Bohannon for $130. George Buchanan is in on Sunvolt at $100. This Peter Gabriel is EX $32.99. I said I would take $26 for it. I said I'd do $26 if Todd wants it. If not, then James Brad, you can have it. It also has the original inner sleeve. Okay. We also have Jay Giles Bloodshot. This is on red vinyl, VG condition, $16.99. Jay Giles Bloodshot, that's on red vinyl, VG condition, $16.99. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Tarkus. Tarkus VG Plus, $14.99. James Bragg said $27. Sell this to James Bragg for $26. Peter Gabriel, $26. Okay, these auctions are done. Sunvolt's at $100. Randy California, the autographed Spirit album with Ed Cassidy, that's sold to Ed Nelson, Jake, for $77. And Van Morrison is sold for $130 to Michael Bohannon. So $77 on Spirit, Ed Nelson, $130 or $40. $130 on Van Morrison to Michael Bohannon. Next are a few claims, but before I do those, let me go ahead and update our auction. Sunvolt's at $100 with George Buchanan. Swing Wide Tremolo. That is a 1998 U.S. OG First Press, near mint minus. Let's go ahead and do, I've seen a lot of people, I got on deck, Southern Culture, Pink Floyd, and David Lee Roth. That was what I seen heavily requested. Let's do the SCOTUS. Southern Culture on the Skid. On the Skids. This is a 2000 USOG copy, sealed, $45 start. USOG copy, sealed, 2000 USOG copy. It is sealed, $45 start. Southern Culture on the Skids. That is liquored up and lacquered down, maybe. $45 start on that. Okay, now for some new claims. Greg Rogers wants Jay Giles. Marsha French gets Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Eric, you were second. Sunvolts at 105, and Corey Gaston said he'd give $25 for Dylan and the band. Go ahead and sell that to Corey Gaston for $25. Southern Culture on the Skids is at 45. Joe Maynard's at 50. Carl said, so no on Foghat. What was your question? I don't think I seen that. James Gang Thirds, VG Plus, $14.99. James Gang Thirds, VG Plus, $14.99. So who bid first on Sunvolt? George Buchanan, you're outbid on Sunvolt. Brent Ribley has that at 105. Joe Maynard has Skids for 50. Warren Zevon, Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School, VG Plus, $24.99. Robert Plant, The Principle of Moments. This is a VG Plus copy. This has the hit songs In the Mood. I'm in the Mood for a Melody and Big Log. That's $14.99 VG Plus condition. And Robert Palmer, we have Robert Plant, we have Robert Palmer. That's VG Plus as well, $14.99. I'm going to mute my mic for 1 second. Okay, I just dropped a bunch of sticky notes, but that's all right. I can pick those up later. Chad Van Horn wants Robert Plant. Thank you, Chad. George is back in on Sunvolt at 110. And John, I just seen your offer for James Gang for 12, and we already have an offer for full price. So, John, if you want this for $14.99, it's yours. If you don't want it, it's sold to Scott Drums. So, Jake, that's either going to be sold to John for $14.99 or Scott for $14.99. And now we're going to sell Charlie to Frank Robert Palmer for 10. Sunvolts at 115. Final call on Southern Culture on the Skids. Final call, $50, Joe Maynard, right? Yep. Edward Star Wars, let me know if you're in or out because we're about to sell that for 50. John Porter said he will take the James Gang at sticker, and then that's sold to Charlie to Frank for 10. Next record is Jimi Hendrix, Crash Landing, VG Plus, $24.99. Jimi Hendrix, Crash Landing, VG Plus, $24.99. Edward's back in on Skids at 55. Boy, I listen to this. When you put on a boot, sometimes you don't know how it's going to sound. It could sound a little muddy, or sometimes it could be straight off the soundboard. This is straight off of the soundboard. Pink Floyd. This is from May 9th, 1977. Pink Floyd, $55 start, and I have a personal note. Sounds great. And Benton Bragg had just hit me. I read your comment earlier. Benton Bragg, yes, what I plan on doing, I will put it with yours. Autographs that we sell that I guarantee that do not have a COA, I will write up something on Collectco letterhead and be like, I guarantee this to be authentic, guaranteed from Collectco. I will sign it and date it, and I will put it in with your record. It will be somewhat of a letter of authenticity. It will be from Collectco. So, yes. Okay, Pink Floyd. That's up for bid. Great sounding bootleg. The tracks, Gravy Train and Caught in the Crossfire is side one. They do this a lot of time on boots. Gravy Train. That's Have a Cigar. It's actually not on here. Have a Cigar, Shine on You Crazy Diamond. Have a Cigar, Shine on You Crazy Diamond, and let's see here. Down and Out. What was that? I forgot. Caught in the Crossfire is Shine on You Crazy Diamond. Caught in the Crossfire number 2 is Shine on You Crazy Diamond, the rest of it. And I forgot what Down and Out was. And then Gravy Train is, of course, you know, that's the lyrics in Have a Cigar. Very cool. Oakland, California, May 9th, 1977. Great sounding recording, too. I was like, wow, this is so cool. I'm listening to live Pink Floyd I've never heard before. Live Pink Floyd I've never heard before. Oh, here it is. It's on the front. Us and Them. Us and Them. Have a Cigar, Shine on You Crazy Diamond, Part 1 and Part 2, and then Us and Them. Which all that together equivalates to about a full album. You know, it's a Shine on You Crazy Diamond's like 20, 30 minutes long, the live version there. Okay, we have Sunvolt was at 115. Skids was at 55. Skids was at 60. Pink Floyd 65. George Buchanan's out on Sunvolt, so Brent Robley has the Sunvolt West or Wide Swing Tremolo. That's a final call. Brent Robley 115. Pink Floyd 66. Pink Floyd 70. Pink Floyd 80. Pink Floyd 110. Pink Floyd 150. Pink Floyd 120. Pink Floyd 130. Lucifer's Friend. Lucifer's Friend is VG Plus $34.99 from 1973. Lucifer's Friend. There is a little bit of a cover ding up here. It is VG Plus $34.99. Lucifer's Friend. I'm about to sell SCOTUS, or I'm about to sell Sunvolt, and Skids is at $60 of Joe Maynard. Edward Star Wars, let me know if you're in or out. Edward Star Wars, let me know if you're in or out. Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Donny Hathaway, Staple Singers, and Ray Charles recorded live at Newport in New York. VG Plus $14.99. Brent Robley gets Lucifer's Friend, and he also gets the Sunvolt. I'm going to go ahead and call that sold officially to Brent Robley for $115. That is sold. Kenneth Jank wants Live in New York. That's sold to Kenneth Jank. Pink Floyd's at $130, and I'm about to sell this. I'm about to sell this to Joe Maynard unless Edward Star Wars bids. I'm about to find out. He says he's out. I'm about to sell that then. This is not Skid Row. This is not Skid Row. This is Creedence Clearwater Revival, Pendulum. That's EX $32.99. Kenneth was first to the Live in New York. It looks like Chris DeMoss was second, Ed Nelson third, Rodell was fourth, and Scott Drum is fifth. Okay, and let's go ahead and sell this to Joe Maynard for $50, Jake. Jake is, this sold to Joe Maynard for $50. So, Jake is my help tonight, just me and Jake tonight. Tanner's up in New York. They're out buying records. When they get back, it's going to be crazy. They've already sent me a couple of flip videos, but I'm waiting for total great post I can make. You know, I want to see all the trucks full, and then I'm going to start showing y'all. Plus, if I start posting videos of stuff we're not even going to have on hand for a week, people's going to be like, when is the Iron Maiden for sale? When is the Metallica's for sale? When is Megadeth going up for auction? And we won't even have them here for another week to sell. So I'm really not posting anything we're buying up there because we have so much here to sell first. It's incredible. Here's another David Lee Roth. This is a 1988 trademark of quality. This is a trademark of quality. It's a bootleg audience recording. It is a bootleg audience recording from the LA Auditorium, June 10th, 1988. There was only 500 made. This is an audience recording. There was only 500 made. This is David Lee Roth Savage. Live David Lee Roth. $35 start. Roth is a $35 start. $35 start. Pink Floyd's at $135. This is from the soundboard. This is cut straight off from the soundboard. Oakland, California, May 9th, 1977. May 9th, 1977. Pink Floyd. Angela's at $135. Kiss Collection, they're trying to buy it tomorrow. Now, I will post a picture of that because it's incredible if we buy that. Mark Fallon's at $140. Creedence, I have no condition notes. Yes, I do. Creedence is EX condition. It does have some sticker residue. It has one of those, I've seen that sticker before. Let it all end on a happy note. I've seen that stuck on a lot of stuff before. That is Creedence, and that is EX $32.99. David Lee Roth's at $50, and Pink Floyd is at $145. Is that Steve Vai with Roth? Certainly looks like them. Wow, what a wild guitar too. But no, I can only identify Roth there. I can't 100% confirm the others. I'm sure other people watching definitely can. Kevin's at $50 on David Lee Roth. Pink Floyd's at $145. Back to the vintage bin. Save the Children soundtrack. VG Plus $16.99. Cannonball Adderley. Reverend James Cleveland. Sammy Davis Jr. Roberta Flack. Marvin Gaye. The Jackson 5. Quincy Jones is on here with the Ramsey Lewis Trio. The OJs, etc. That's VG Plus $16.99. Okay. So, Pink Floyd, what is going on where the day is printed? Okay, these bootleg covers, just FYI, these vintage bootlegs are heavily primitive, okay? This is just a sheet of paper that's been glued to the cover. These vintage bootlegs are heavily primitive. It looks like it was Xeroxed or something, and they made copies where they had pieces of tape stuck to it originally or something. So yeah, that's what There's these are, you know, you can tell like somebody cut this out with scissors. This was probably made in a basement somewhere. I mean, these are the sound quality though is from a soundboard. But yeah, these covers are very primitive for these bootlegs. This is just a pink Xeroxed sheet of paper, I guess, that's been cut and glued to the cover. But yeah, it looks like where tape was stuck to it, and then they made a copy. So it's the date on the label. The date is not on the label. No, it says Tranquil Color. By the way, the vinyl is really nice for a bootleg. Very nice for a bootleg. Tranquil Color. Caught in the Crossfire #2 and Caught in the Crossfire. That's Shine on You. Gravy Train is Have a Cigar. And Down and Out is Us and Them. Tranquil Color. All right, Jeff gets all of his parameters. He loads up the barrel, then he starts shooting. That's how Jeff McMaster does it. He gets all the details, and then he starts bidding, which is okay with me. I would want to know everything about it, too, before I started bidding $160. We have David Lee Roth at $55 with Brent Robley. 55. Kevin bid 50. 55. Pink Floyd's at 151 with Angela. We have Nobody Wanted Save the Children. 10 Years After, Alvin Lee and Company. VG Plus copy, $12.99. Janice Ian, Between the Lines. Janice Ian is EX, $9.99. Dan Fogelberg, Phoenix. That's VG Plus, $9.99. The Byrds, Mr. Tambourine Man. This is the original label, 2-eye stereo, EX condition, VG condition, $17.99. Stephen A. Young wants 10 Years After. Eric wants Janice Ian. We still got Dan Fogelberg and the Byrds. Chad Van Horn wants Dan Fogelberg. This is David Lee Roth. Let me give you another close-up of that. Here's the David Lee Roth boot. Also, the concert is from LA Auditorium, June 10th, 1988. June 10th, 1988, David Lee Roth, 500 were pressed. Another vintage bootleg. This one's well made. It's a printed jacket. It's got nice labels on it, very clean vinyl. That is up for bid. Chad got the Dan Fogelberg. Debbie said 12 on the Byrds. Christopher said 14. Debbie, I like 14 better, but you're first. Let me know if you want to pay 14. If not, I'll give it to Christopher. If you do, it's yours for 14. Marsha, you were second on the Fogelberg. And Pink Floyd is now going once, going twice to Angela Rachel's. Angela Rachel's has this for 151. 151. Also, a final call on David Lee Roth. Brent Robley has that for 55. We have Brendan Benson. Brendan Benson, you were something. EX 1799. Brendan Benson, EX 1799. You were right, maybe? It doesn't look like that, but I think that's what that says. Let me get a new auction started because I have a feeling some of these are almost done, and I'm sure y'all are waiting on something else. Let's do we have any more autographs? We do. I haven't really promoted this one a lot. I may wait on that one, and I do have some more bootlegs. Let's do a studio album from the legend, the myth, the man himself, Stevie Ray Vaughan. This is a 1989 U.S. copy. I don't get this one too often. It is near mint minus. It is pristine with the original inner sleeve. It does have a punch hole. Nice cover, though, in step with my favorite Stevie song, Crossfire. $45 start. It is near mint. It is beautiful vinyl. Stevie Ray Vaughan. OG in step. $45 start. There's the cover. There's the generic inner sleeve that came with it. $45 start on Stevie Ray Vaughan. We got new bids. David Lee Roth is at 60. James Rayner was first. Kevin Moore was second at 60. So James has it for 60. Pink Floyd's at 152. Jeff McMaster has it for 145. Debbie says she will take it for $14. That's sold to Debbie for $14. Stevie Ray Vaughan, $45.45. Let me show what is left in this bin. Boy, y'all are wiping out these crates. I'm going to have to go to the back and get another one. But after this, I have some new vinyl, and we're going to keep going with incredible auctions. These are all buy it now, best offer. Bob Seger, 9 Tonight. Near Mint, 2 LP, original inner sleeves. $29.99. Roger Daltrey. This is his greatest hits as a solo artist. $12.99. There's some great songs on here. Say It Ain't So, Joe. I like that one. Giving It All Away. That's VG Plus, $12.99. Great Roger Daltrey solo music. Ozark Mountain Daredevils. It's Alive. 2 LP. EX condition, $22.99. David Lee Roth is at $62. By the way, Dan, you were second on Stevie Ray Vaughan, so you're out on that. We have a high bid of $155 on Pink Floyd. Angela, you're out. Mark Fallon, you're out. That's at $155. Bob Seger, $20. Bob Seger, $22. Marsha says she'll take it at $29.99. I like that better. But Chris was first. Chris, let me know if you want it for sticker. If you pass, then it's Dan's for sticker. If y'all pass, then it goes to Marsha. That's going to go to somebody for $29.99, either Chris, Dan, or Marsha. Jimi Hendrix details. Jimi Hendrix is VG Plus, $24.99. VG Plus, $24.99. VG Plus condition, $24.99. Let's see here. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Dan's at $47. Chris says he passes at $29.99. Shane's at $60 on Stevie Ray Vaughan. Brent, you were fourth on Seeger. Lillian says she'll take Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Michael's at $50 on Stevie Ray Vaughan, but Shane was already at $60. And we have the Jay Giles Band Showtime Historic Live Concert, VG $9.99. Mark says it's raining on his parade. It's not raining on your parade. You are the meteorologist. You can decide if it's going to rain or not. You can have a warm, sunny day if you just bid again. We have Pink Floyd at $155 with Jeff McMaster, now going twice, going three times. I think they both passed on Bob Seger, so Jeff, that Bob Seger will go to Marsha French for $22.99. Ozark is sold to Lillian McCurry. Stevie Ray Vaughan is got two more bidders at $65, and now it's at $80. Where are we on David Lee Roth? David Lee Roth is at $62 with Kevin Moore. Kevin Moore has David Lee Roth for $62. Stevie Ray Vaughan's at $80. Michael Naff said he'd give $18 for Hendrix. Sell that to Michael Naff for $18. I have the Fifth Dimension Greatest Hits. That is VG Plus, $9.99. Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School, Warren Zevon. VG Plus, $24.99. Creedence Clearwater Revival Pendulum, EX $32.99. Save the Children is VG Plus, $16.99. And Bendon Benson is sold to Lily McCurry at sticker. All right, y'all have wiped that one out. That leaves the Save the Children soundtrack, CCR, Warren Zevon, Fifth Dimension, Jay Giles, and Roger Daltrey. All right, more auctions coming up. I'm got to start wrapping some of these things up. First, I've got a new crate to show y'all. Here's a crate of stuff we hadn't shown in a long time. And then I'm going to go get some more vintage after this. But we're going to keep auctions rolling. First is, I guess we're done on Pink Floyd. I never did hear back from Rachel. And Mark said he's out. So Jeff McMaster gets the Pink Floyd boot for $155. That is done. That is sold to Jeff McMaster for $155. They're still bidding on Stevie Ray Vaughan, but I think we may be near the end because Michael Naff said out, and I think I now see another out. So Shane Devers, you have Stevie Ray Vaughan for $80, and I guess we're done with David Lee Roth too. Kevin Moore slipped in there. No one else bid on that. Kevin Moore got that for $62. That's sold to Kevin Moore. So Jeff McMaster, $155 on Pink Floyd. This is sold for $62 to Kevin Moore, and we got two more sales out of that last bin. Scotty Hopps wants Roger Daltrey for $10, and Edward wants CCR for $26. That's sold and sold. So Roger Daltrey for $10. That is to Scotty Hopps, and CCR to Edward Star Wars for $26. They're still bidding on Stevie Ray Vaughan, $82, $83, and now $90. Let me grab two new auctions. Let's do the Brian Setzer Orchestra. I had that one late last night, and I got another Sunvolt. I'm going to go ahead and introduce two auctions at the same time and keep three more going. We have the Brian Setzer Orchestra, the Dirty Boogie, the Dirty Boogie, Brian Setzer Orchestra. This is a 1998 U.S. pressing, EX Plus condition. Check this out. There's only one for sale on Discogs listed in the United States. They're asking $500, which is just ridiculous. But there is none for sale in the U.S. on eBay. So virtually zero for sale on the two biggest record selling platforms for records, eBay and Discogs. Zero for sale in the United States. This is the 1998. It is EX Plus. $95 start. Brian Setzer Orchestra. It includes the original insert. EX Plus vinyl, $95 start. $95 start. The Dirty Boogie. I don't know where I came with Boogle. $95 start on that. Stevie Ray Vaughan's at 100 with Shane Devers. High bid on that. Okay, Sunvolt is a 1997 U.S. pressing. Shrink wrap, hop sticker, near mint minus, $45 start. 97 U.S. OG first press. Shrink wrap, hop sticker, near mint minus, $45 start. It has a generic inner sleeve that came with it. It was a polyline bag. And it looks like the original owner we got it from, he had a little clipping here. It says recommended. It looks like it was from a magazine. It was originally sold on vinyl for $10.99. The note here on the bottom says, this is a collection that reminds us of Neil Young at his best, with a little more twang and a little bit of to the Friar's voice and songs that rival anyone's. This is a highly recommended album on Discogs that had great reviews too. It also has the hop sticker. Sunvolt is a $45 start. That is the original 1997 press. Okay, let's see here. We have Stevie Ray Vaughan at 100. Pamela Yeager, let me know if you're in or out. Shane has that for 100. Brian Setzer, 95, 95, 100. Pamela's out. This is sold to Shane Devers for $100. That's sold to Shane for $100. Now front and center is Brian Setzer and Sunvolt. Okay, we have 4 non-blondes. 4 non-blondes is $29.99. 4 non-blondes is $29.99. That is new and sealed, 4 non-blondes. Some of these I don't have many more left. This is new vinyl that I hadn't shown in a long time. Probably stuff you didn't know we had in stock, and if you did, I don't have much left. And I don't know if I can get them again. Cynthia Herdren got 4 non-blondes. I've got 2 copies. Now, I could get more, but I don't know. I also haven't sold this or shown this Genesis or sold one in a while. This is Genesis We Can't Dance, which is not too easy to get an original copy of. It came out in 1991. It's a 2LP remaster. It's a half-speed master. Genesis We Can't Dance, $42.99. Brian Setzer's at 105. Brian Setzer is at 110. Sunvolt's at 45 with Brent Robley. Charlie DeFrank, you were second at 45. Gin Blossoms, New Miserable Experience. I remember before we got a restock of this was $100 on Discogs easily before we got a restock of it. $33.99 for Gin Blossoms, New Miserable Experience. I've got 2 copies of that left. Great White Live, our last copy. That is on 2LP red vinyl, Great White Stage, $36.99 red vinyl. Chris B. Jack says he'll take a Gin Blossoms. I've got 1 left. Brian Setzer's at 110, going once, going twice to Chris Kirkley. Sunvolt's at 45 with Brent Robley going once, going twice. I'm going to show these at the same time. Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2, $49.99 each. GNR, Guns N' Roses. Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2, $49.99 each. Harem Scarum. Harem Scarum, self-titled, limited edition of 666 individually numbered copies on crystal clear vinyl. This is number 235. Harem Scarum is $38.99. Harem Scarum self-titled. Brian Setzer Orchestra, 115. Brian Setzer, 112. Trey Tidwell wants GB, which was Gin Blossoms. That is sold to Trey Tidwell for $5,000. I hope your wife's watching. Trey Tidwell is going to be sleeping on the couch. He just paid $5,000 for a Gin Blossoms record. Whew, he must have got a promotion. Brian Setzer's at 120 and Sunvolt is at 50. We have Hole Celebrity Skin. Hole is $39.99. This is a music on vinyl pressing, $39.99 new and sealed. New and sealed Hole Celebrity Skin. Courtney Love. Heart, the classic Dreamboat Annie. If you want to listen to an amazing album, put on side 1. Nothing wrong with side 2, but side 1 of Dreamboat Annie is an experience. That is $33.99. Heart, Dreamboat Annie. Brian Setzer's at 123 with Pamela Yeager. Sunvolt's now at 50 with Edward Star Wars. We've got 2 copies of Jimi Hendrix, the best of Jimi Hendrix. This is a great sounding compilation. 2 LPs of music, $29.99. All the great hits: Purple Haze, Fire, When Cries Mary, Hey Joe, Watchtower, Crosstown Traffic, Little Wing, Foxy Lady, Castle Maze of Sand, Voodoo Child, Freedom, Angel, Dolly Dagger, and the Star Spangled Banner, $29.99. Brittany Bragg gets a Whole Celebrity Skin. That's sold to Brittany Bragg. Marsha French on Heart. Patty, I've only got 1 copy, unfortunately, but if you're okay with it, I'll put you on a waiting list because I need to order more anyway if I can get them. Marsha got Hart and maybe Patty on a waiting list. Ryan Christie gets a Jimi Hendrix, and Stephen A. Young gets a Jimi Hendrix. I've only got 2 copies. I've only got 2 copies of that. Sun Volta repress. No, I'm pretty sure this is the OG. This album, this is the 1997 US press. Shrink wrap, no, this is first press OG. Sun Volt Straightaways, 1997, shrink wrap hop sticker. Here's the little blurb that it came with when it came out. This is a 97 US first press, yes. I'm surprised we don't already have more bids on it. The other one sold for over 100. Straightaways, shrink wrap hop sticker, 97 OG. That is correct. Brian Setzer's at 123. Patty does not want on the waiting list for Hart. Both Hendrix are sold. Put Marsha French on a waiting list if that's okay with Marsha. Jimi Hendrix on a waiting list with Marsha French. Edwards at 125 on Brian Setzer. And he's at 50 on Sunvolt. Edward has high bid on both auctions right now, 125 and 50. Incubus, like grenades. Incubus is $34.99. Incubus, like grenades, $34.99. Joan Jett, bad reputation. This is Joan Jett's greatest hits. It also has stuff with the Runaways and Bikini Kill, $29.99. Let's put Marsha French on a waiting list for Experience Hendrix, the best of Jimi Hendrix. That is Jimi Hendrix's greatest hits for Marsha French. Waiting list for that. Joan Jett's $29.99. We have Janis Joplin live in concert from Music on Vinyl. It's a 1972 live album. It features performances with Big Brother and the Holding Company, 2 LP, black and white, marbled vinyl, limited to 1,500. Janis Joplin is $44.99. Sunvolt's at $55.55. Chris Kirkley's at $140 on Brian Setzer. Let's get another auction going. It's getting kind of late. I've only got a handful left, but they're great. Let's see here. I wonder if Stacy Metternich is watching. I told her I would have this tonight. This is a 1979 US press, near mint minus. It's an Archie's compilation. 1979, it's near mint minus. I've cleaned it. I've got it in shrink wrap, or it came in shrink wrap. $15 start. It has all their great hits on it. Sugar Sugar, Bang Shang-a-Lang, Jingle Jangle. They're all on there. That's the classic Archie's 1979 compilation. $15 start. There's a little something to mellow everybody out. We've had all these incredible auctions. There's the Archies. It's up for bid. I've also got a Japanese Archie single to auction later, but we have a lot of demand for Archie's records. That's really cool. I collect Archie stuff. I already have this, but really cool, and that has all the great hits on it. I listen to it too. Sounds great. Okay, Sunvolt was at 55. Brian Setzer, 140. Sunvolt, 60. Pamela's out on Brian Setzer, so Chris Kirkley has that for $140. Like I said, only one copy in the United States on Discogs, $500, which is, like I said, that's just insane. But on eBay, there's none active in the United States. Pretty incredible there. The Brian Setzer Orchestra. High bid is $140. By the way, when you're researching prices, don't pay any attention to what people's asking for something. I could list this Janis Joplin on eBay for $10,000. That doesn't mean it's worth $10,000. It's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. If no one wants to pay $1 for it, then there's a good chance it's not worth $1. If somebody's willing to pay $500 for it, it's worth $500 to whoever bought it for $500. So that's how you determine what something's worth. Put it on eBay, see what it brings. Put it up for auction at CollectCo, see what it brings. That's how you determine what something's worth. Whatever somebody's going to pay for it. Sunvolt's at 65. Archie's 15, 20, 25. Sunvolt 72. Archie's 35. Archie's 40. And Sunvolt's at $65, it looks like. The Brian Setzer Orchestra is at $140 to Chris Kirkley. That's a final call. Now, John had this marked last night. He had it in a bin marked, and we were well below what he had it stickered. But I figured I would re-tag it and just auction it tonight. But after it sells, I'll tell you what he had it marked for. So we still got all 3 Janis Joplins. Huey Lewis and the News collected. $44.99 for Huey Lewis and the News collected. That's a 2 LP. That's pretty much the only way you can get Huey Lewis and the News greatest hits. It's called collected. $44.99. The Archies is at $50. Brian Setzer's at $150. I didn't figure we were done. I knew there was at least 2 other people bidding that hadn't set out yet, and I think Brent was one of them. Brent's at $150. Chris, You got a bid again. Ball's in your court. Love and Rockets, Earth, Sun, and Moon. Love and Rockets. This is the band's third album. It contains no new tale to tell. It was originally released in 1987, $33.99. Yes, Huey Lewis has all the great hits on it, including Power of Love. Yes, they're all on here. Well, let me make sure. Power of Love, Power of Love. This is $44.99. Let's see. Heart and Soul, I Want a New Drug. The Power of Love, yes, I'm about to say. If it's not on here, I'll be shocked. Yes, this has all their great hits on it. Huey Lewis is $44.99. It also includes that band Clover. Yes, it has that band Clover that Huey Lewis was in. One track of theirs and American Express. I don't know if Huey Lewis was in American Express, but yes, that's $44.99. Okay, Brian Setzer was at $150. Chris right back in at $155. Edward bid $145. Christopher Morris wants Janis Joplin. Brian Setzer $160, now $170. So Sunvolt is at $77 with James Bragg. OG Sunvolt, shrink wrap, hop sticker, first press. James Bragg is at $77. Brent Robley's at $175 on Brian Setzer. We have Love and Rockets. Here's Ministry. Got some Ministry albums I hadn't shown in a while. I only pulled one out. I've got more over here in the M's. This is the Sphincter, limited edition of 1,000 individually numbered copies on red vinyl. That is Ministry, $44.99. Final call over here on the Archies. John Smetzer has it for $50. That is in shrink wrap. It's a 79 compilation. Beautiful copy. That is at $50 with John Smetzer. Chris Kirkley back in at $185 on Brian Setzer. The Misfits, Earth AD. The Misfits is $28.99. And if you want a great sounding record, it's so tough to find OG copies of this clean, especially with a nice cover. Rolling Stone magazine calls this the greatest album of all time. And this is Blue by Joni Mitchell. That's a bold statement, saying that's the greatest album of all time. It's good. I don't think it's that good, in my opinion, but it's a great album. Joni Mitchell Blue, $31.99, and this is the Bernie Grundman remaster. There's a song on here, though. I think it's called Carrie. Carrie's my favorite song on here. It will just take you to a different dimension. Her voice is incredible. I love Court and Spark. I think Court and Spark is a better album than Blue, in my opinion. But Blue is good. That's so DeMarsha French. That's the only copy I have. I need to order more. So if anybody would like to go on a waiting list for that, that will be for the Bernie Grundman remaster. That is Marsha French's. And Ian, if you want on a waiting list, I'll put you on there. Sunvolt's at $82. That's because Edward bid $80. Chris Kirkland's at $185 on Brian Setzer. Let's sell the Archies for $50 to John Smetzer. We'll make sure Ian wants on the waiting list. And I went to my Oingo Boingo section. And this is the only three I have left of the limited edition colored vinyl. This is Oingo Boingo, Nothing to Fear. That's my last three copies on clear and metallic green. Ian says he's good on the Joni Mitchell waiting list. Here's a bootleg that I actually already owned in my personal collection. And it's really, really good. This is Paul McCartney and Wings. It's called One Hand Clapping. Here's our next auction. Brent Robley's out on Brian Setzer. And I think Brian Setzer was between Brent and Chris and Edward. So Edward, if you could let me know if you're in or out on Brian Setzer. Chris Kirkley has that for $185. And that's going once, going twice. It looks like it's between Chris and Edward. This is called Paul McCartney and Wings, One Hand Clapping. It's a 1985 Netherlands, unofficial. What's really cool about it, I had no idea what I was going to listen to when I first put this on. Sides 1 and 3. Sides 1 and 3 is his Nashville rehearsals. Those were recorded in Nashville in 1974. And then side 4 is live songs from Melbourne, Australia. Now, there's some YouTube footage of those Nashville rehearsals, sides 1 and 3. He's doing great songs like Band on the Run and Jet and Soily. And they're great. This is like straight from a soundboard. This is a $85 start. $85 start. Paul McCartney and Wings, One Hand Clapping. I actually got mine on eBay. It slipped through on eBay because you're not supposed to be able to list a lot of these. I got mine on eBay, and I'll tell you, I paid over $100 for mine. But I got caught into one of those bidding wars. I think y'all know what that's like. $85 start on Paul McCartney and Wings. Great music on here. It has live versions. He's so good in those rehearsals. And, of course, I'm a Paul McCartney fan, so... Robert Plant, speaking of bootlegs, this is an unofficial from Osaka, Japan, 1984. This is new and sealed for $44.99. $44.99, Robert Plant. Oingo Boingo, sorry I didn't tell the price, Daniel and Cynthia. just $28.99. I've got 3. Let me know if y'all want one. Okay, Edward is out on both auctions. Let's sell Brian Setzer then. This is Brian Setzer. This is sold to Chris Kirkley for $185. $185. Sunvolt, I think we're all done on that. Edward says he's out. Sunvolt's at 82 with James Bragg. Let's do a final call. Sunvolt's at James Bragg for $82. Marsha's at 90 on Paul McCartney. Cynthia gets Oingo Boingo. That's sold to Cynthia Herdren. Oingo Boingo. Brian Setzer's done. I got one left. Let me do a quick recap of this new vinyl, and then let's do a half-off bin. Jake, I hope you're ready for that. I'm going to keep everybody interested in what's going on because we still got great auctions. It's already after 10 o'clock. We still got 197 people watching on both platforms. 197 people. That's pretty incredible. Tomorrow, it's going to be even better. Thursday night's usually our biggest night of the week, and I'm going to have great auctions tomorrow again. Ministry is sold to Sean Fairweather. Thank you. I've got one Oingo Boingo left because Fred Carnell just claimed one. That is Oingo Boingo. Sunvolt, no, Neil Young does not play on here. They said it sounds like a collection that reminds us of Neil Young at his best with a little bit more twang. And this is about to be sold. This is James Bragg's for $82. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Sold to James Bragg for $82. Paul McCartney's at 90. Brent Robley, let me know if you're in or out. Brent was at 85. Marsha bid 90. I've got more vinyl. Here's evidently a fantastic sounding record. This is Van Morrison. It's a Barnes & Noble exclusive. It was sold on their vinyl day. So it's not just a Barnes & Noble exclusive. It was only sold evidently like on their vinyl day, which I don't think I've ever been in a Barnes & Noble. I don't know even where one's at around here. Jake, do you know where a Barnes & Noble is around here? Murfreesboro, maybe? Jake said there's one in Minnesota. So I don't know if there's a Barnes & Noble even close to us. But this is high marks on Discogs. They have books. Yes, they have books. I go to Books A Million, mainly just to go to Joe's Cafe or whatever that place is called and get a mocha frappe. There's one in Murfreesboro. That's what I thought. Yeah, there's one in Murfreesboro in the mall, I believe. But I don't think I've ever been to one. I go to Books A Million just so I can go to Joe Muggs or whatever that place is called. Joe Muggs Mocha Frappe, it's the best thing on earth. I mean, I could drink 10 of them a day, which would kill me. But this is a 2016 U.S. pressing, a Barnes & Noble record day, cream with brown splatter. This is mastered by Steve Hoffman. It is sealed. It's never been opened. And what I was seeing on Discogs, somebody put this has great instrument separation. They put great sounding record. And I think based on prices, it should be. $75 start. Barnes & Noble exclusive on colored vinyl. That is Steve Hoffman mastering. $75. That is sealed. Brent Robley's at $100 on the Paul McCartney. $100 on Paul McCartney, and he's at $75 on Van Morrison. Okay, that's evidently a great sounding record. I wish it was open so bad. I would love to listen to that, see how good it sounds. Classic album. Now this is one of the greatest albums of all time. This should be up there higher than Joni Mitchell's Blue, but Joni Mitchell Blue was a big influential album for sure. Okay, we have 4 non-blondes very quickly. 4 non-blondes, $29.99. Marsha, let me know if you're in or out on Paul McCartney, because Brent has that for $100 and it's a final call. We have Genesis, We Can't Dance, $42.99. Great White is $36.99, double red vinyl. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, $49.99 each. Harem Scarum is $38.99. Hole is $39.99. Incubus Light Grenades, $34.99. Joan Jett is $29.99. Marsha's back in on Paul McCartney at $105. Van Morrison's at $80. Janis Joplin's $44.99. Huey Lewis, whoever asked about it, is still available, $44.99. Love and Rockets is $33.99. We still got Ministry, 2 left, $44. 1 copy of Oingo Boingo, 1 copy of The Misfits, and Robert Plant live in 1984, Osaka, Japan, $44.99. All right, let's get crazy with a little bit of vintage. I'm going to go over here and grab a random bin, and we're just going to wipe it out at half off. Should I do this? No. Are we going to? Yes, because y'all are still sticking with me. We got to sell some vinyl. We're bringing back literally thousands and thousands from this trip, and we already got thousands here to sell. So, Jake, we're going to get a little crazy and reward everybody here with a random bin of half-off stuff that should not be half-off. So, here we go. Here's how you can, I don't know how you've done it before, but I guess you can just mark the price or just make a note that it's half off. However you want to do it, or you can go ahead and do the math. Jake's got an empty bin. He said, let's do it. Okay, so Paul McCartney's at 105. David Polkey says he'll take a ministry. That wasn't half off. I wish I could do those half off for you. We would sell a bunch of them, but that is $44.99, and that's sold to David Polkey as sticker. What year is the Great White released? It was released this year. It was put out this year. I'm not for sure when the live concert's from, but it's put out this year. Van Morrison's at 90 and now 100. Van Morrison is at 110, and Paul McCartney's at 110. Marsha's out. So final call on Paul McCartney. As soon as that's done, I'll put up a new one, and Van Morrison's at 115. I will be telling you the half-off price. Very easy. I'll be telling you the half-off price. The best of England Dan and John Ford Coley. That has never been opened. It is sealed. $7.50. $7.50. The Gary Puckett and the Union Gap album, sealed. That has never been opened. $7.50. Back-to-back sealed albums, $7.50. That's pretty incredible. Here's Johnny, Magic Moments of the Tonight Show. That is sealed. Now $13.50. If you were to open this, which you should, it has a poster with it. $13.50. Final call on Paul McCartney because Marsha's out. Brent was at 110. This is called One Hand Clapping. Excellent Paul McCartney boot here. Nashville rehearsals from 74 and one side of live tracks from Melbourne, Australia. It sounds great. I own a copy myself. I went ahead and pulled that one first. That's really a historical moment for the Pittsburgh collection. One of the first Beatles albums we've pulled out and sold out of the hundreds, if not over 1,000 that we have. I know there's well over 800 Beatle albums, but if you add up all the Paul and John boots and unofficials, it's got to be close to 1,000. It's probably a sixth of his collection. Okay, Scott Jokumstaller, first on England Dan. Jake, half off, of course. David Williams was second. Scott was first. Lillian gets Gary Puckett. This is sold to Lillian McCurry. David Williams was second. Grant, you were third on England Dan. And Johnny Carson is sold to Stephen A. Young. Marsha, you were third on Gary Puckett. Van Morrison 120, Van Morrison 125. You must remember these. This is a compilation of, it looks like, late 50s, early 60s music. That is sealed, $7.50. And W.C. Fields, the original voice tracks from his great movies, that's also $7.50. Paul McCartney is sold to Brent Robley for $110. That's sold to Brent. Van Morrison's at $125. That is sealed, Barnes & Noble exclusive. We've already sold one autograph from this person today. I can't remember what it's sold for. I'm going to put this one up for sale. Same starting bid. I probably should bump it a little bit higher because I think the other interested party that was bidding is not watching anymore, but that's okay. You don't ever want to log off on Collectco. You never know what's going to come up next. Here's another autographed Leslie West album. This is Mountain, Nantucket Sleigh Ride. And once again, it's an OG 71 Monarch. It's autographed by Leslie West, the frontman and lead singer, and it's Robert Lugwood mastering. That's why these Mountain records always sound so good. I've always wondered about that. This is also complete with the booklet. This is a complete EX Plus, near mint minus, no check condition copy, just original and generic. And if you notice, they'll call it Unipack, just like the Stones album we sold earlier. Unipack is the way the jacket opens. Or is this just a normal gatefold? No, this is just a normal gatefold. That other one was a Unipack. It's the way it like flips open and the record tucks in that way. That's actually like a branded type deal. This is a $95 start, autographed by Leslie West, Mountain, Nantucket Sleigh Ride. Now, we definitely, if Kevin Willis is still with us, he needs to tune in because he was bidding and heavily interested in the other one. Another classic album, autographed by Leslie West. Van Morrison's at 125. Sherry is out. So Ed has that for 125, final call. Guns N' Roses was $49.99. I don't think there's been any claims on these two. Those are still available for $7.50. Randy Newman, Sell Away, $10 on Randy Newman, Sell Away. Deep Purple, Who Do They Think We Are? It's a UK copy Very, very nice. Now for just $15. Deep Purple, who do they think we are? $15 on that. Jimmy Buffett, Somewhere Over China. Wow, sealed. Didn't know that was in there. Rest in peace, Mr. Buffett. Sealed, Somewhere Over China, $15. Great deal on that. Pointer Sisters Breakout, that is $5 for the Pointer Sisters Breakout. $5 on that. Buddy Rich, It's About Time. Buddy Rich is $10. Okay, so when I come back, I'm selling Van Morrison to Ed Nelson for $125. Mountain was at 95, now 100, now 105. Jared Benoit said he'll take that last Oingo Boingo. And of course, Jake, this is sticker price. That's Oingo Boingo. I'm going to lay it right here for you unless you want it in the same stack. That's sold to Jared Benoit. And then let's go ahead and tag these. Jeff McMaster got the Jimmy Buffett at half off. Greg Rogers was second. Brent Robley third. Stephen Fry was fourth. RN Condition. Randy Newman. Edward. There's no condition notes on the vinyl. I got to give the cover VG/VG Plus just because of the condition, just because of a little bit of the ring wear. But I don't see much wrong with the vinyl. It's closer to EX Plus. I see a couple scuffs here. So no condition notes, but I will have to call that an EX Plus because right off the bat I've seen a couple scuffs. Marsha French got the Deep Purple at half off. That's sold to Marsha French. Eddie Bruce, you were fifth on Jimmy Buffett. Edward was sixth. Kelly Gabney got the Pointer Sisters. So Marsha got Deep Purple. Kelly got the Pointer Sisters. And Kenneth Jank got Buddy Rich. Okay, where are we at on Mountain? Ed Nelson's the high bidder. Brent, you're out on Mountain. Ed Nelson has that 105. Autographed by Leslie West. Autographed by Leslie West. Let me put up our next auction, which is another one of our boots for tonight. I've never, ever seen a boot from Roxy Music. This is called Wrapped Leatheries. Roxy Music. And as usual, they have a somewhat nude woman on the cover. This is a 1979 Australian unofficial bootleg. It is an FM broadcast. I have not got to listen to this one, but FM broadcast tells me it's going to sound pretty good. $55 start. The concert is from April 21st, 1979. April 21st, 1979. That is a Roxy Music unofficial. Never had that before. $55 start. Edward Star Wars says he will take the Randy Newman at half off. Let's go ahead and sell the Van Morrison to Ed Nelson for $125. And Mountain is now at $110 with Brent Robley. Mountain's at $110. And the Roxy Music is a $55 start. Never seen their bootlegs before. Back to the half off LPs. Nat King Cole, $5. That is Love is a Many Splendored Thing. Nat King Cole is $5. Chris is at $55 on Roxy. We have Elvis, Rock and Roll Forever. Elvis, Rock and Roll Forever. That is now $5. John Porter also bid $110 on Mountain, but Brent Robley was first. That is autographed by Leslie West of Mountain. The Who, Live at Leeds. That is $10. The Who, Live at Leeds. This is just a single pocket, not a gatefold with the inserts, just a single pocket of this. That is now just $10 for The Who, Live at Leeds. Van Morrison, wow, Poetic Champions Compose. That is now $17.50. I'm surprised that didn't sell originally at full price. It has the original inner sleeve. Van Morrison is $17.50. Okay. We have Mountain, 110, 115, 115, 113, 117. Roxy Music is at 57. But in between all that, Stephen A. Young got The Who at half off, and Brent Robley wants Van Morrison at half off. Several bids on Mountain and Roxy Music. We'll keep those going. Bob Dylan saved. Looks like there's a little bit of residue or something right here on the cover. No condition notes on the vinyl. $17.50 for Bob Dylan saved. One of his gospel albums, and it is with the original inner sleeve. $17.50 on that. Mountains at $125, and the high bidder on Roxy Music is Chris Kirkley at $60. Chris Kirkley at $60. I'm going to mute my mic for 1 second to take a drink of Diet Mountain Dew. Ah, how refreshing. Okay, Roxy Music is at 130 with John Porter. Thomas Hujar gets Bob Dylan. Michael Nath was out. And Brent's out on Mountain. So I think Mountain is now down to the last bidder with John Porter at $130. And Roxy Music is still got several people bidding but no one has said out. Chris Kirkley has it for $60. Clay Moore wants the Elvis. That's sold to Clay Moore. Back to the half-off LPs. Wow, this should never be half off. Yes, close to the edge. Now just $10. Why does it look so different? The cover, this is an OG Presswell press too, and the cover's textured. It looks like a foreign cover, but I guess it's not. No, it's US all the way. Just $10 on that. That should never be half off. That is, now I feel bad. Yes, close to the edge. That is sold to Chris Jack. Todd 2nd, John 3rd, Edward 4th, Stephen 5th, Bubby 6th, Davey 7th, Scott 8th. Lots of people on that, as it should be. Herb Albert, going places. Herb Albert is $10. And the Tijuana Brass. Stevie Wonder fulfilling this first finale. $12.50 on Stevie Wonder. All right, Jeff McMaster is the new bidder on Roxy Music. He's at $61. I was coming over here to do a final call on Mountain, but Pamela has bid $133. Pamela's at $133. Chris Jack first on Stevie Wonder. Let's sell that to Chris. Stevie Wonder. Kenny Rogers, the gambler, also known as, you need to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Something like that. Kenny Rogers is $5. Mountains at $135, and Roxy Music is now at $63. Phoenix by Grand Funk Railroad. This is now just, it doesn't have a price on it. Let's make it $10. Let's make the sale price $10 on that. Shakedown, first on Kenny Rogers. We have Bubby Mercer 2nd, Todd Tipton 3rd, and Scott Drum 4th. John Porter first. Just Jake, make that $10 because they don't have a sticker on it. So just make that $10 to John Porter. Stephen A. Young 2nd, Greg Rogers 3rd, Scott Jokenstaller 4th, John Miller 5th, Lily McCurry 6th, and Sherry Darnell 7th. Mountain. Let's update everybody on our amazing auctions we have going on. This is an autographed OG copy of Mountain Nantucket Sleigh Ride. It's also an OG Monarch First Press Robert Lugwood mastering, complete with the book that came with it, and it's autographed by lead singer and frontman Leslie West. John Porter was at $135. This is a Roxy Music bootleg unofficial called Warped Leatherous. That is now, that's an FM broadcast originally. That was at $63, and we're still at $63 with Chris Kirkley. Jeff McMaster, you're outbid. And Pamela is the high bidder. No, John Porter is the high bidder on Mountain at $135. Pamela, you're out. The Yardbirds favorites, $10. Yardbirds favorites, $10. Brent's back in on Mountain at $140. Bring out the MoFi box. We got a Beatles MoFi box. We have a Rolling Stones MoFi box. I have the Beatles studio album box set sealed. And then there's a tub. And I don't know why, but I hadn't even opened up the lid yet. And it has other box sets in it. It has other box sets from this collection. I know there's a Sgt. Pepper's box. He may have some of the newer Beatles box sets. Those are all in this collection. Corey Gaston wants Elvis. Elvis has already been claimed. Debbie gets the Yardbirds. Jeff's out on Roxy Music. Mountains at $145 and now $150. So where are we on Roxy Music then? Chris Kirkley, $63. Chris Kirkley, $63. So Jeff's out. That's a final call on Roxy Music now for $63. I got more auctions to get to. We still got several in the bin. Deep Purple, Shades of Deep Purple, $17.50. Shades of Deep Purple. That's very, very nice vinyl. Wow, Shades of Deep Purple. That is now $17.50. We also have a Beatles White Album. Did y'all see the video? We got a White Album. Let me tell you the price on this first. That will be $32.50. Wow. A 71 Jacksonville press with poster and photos. If you don't have a vintage copy of the White Album already, for $32.50, you should be all over this. It also has photos. It has photos and posters. It's $32.50. I don't know if y'all seen the video, but I flipped through a tub of all the Beatles albums. We got a serial numbered White Album, $27,000. I've seen lower. I've seen pictures of lower. Actually, I've seen a picture of number 1, I guess, the one Ringo had. But that's pretty low, $27,000. That will be up for auction. That's going to be a hot commodity. Low numbered White Album. Pretty incredible. Back up to the top. Mountain 150, 155. Jeff McMaster, first of the White Album. Great deal there at half off. That shouldn't happen. Ed Nelson gets Deep Purple. Great deal there at half off. That shouldn't be happening. Michael Nath, you were second on the Beatles. Jetstream, you were second on Deep Purple. Marsha third. And Brittany, you were 4th on the Beatles. Yes, John Young has number 1,802. That's incredible. That's very, very rare and very expensive. Roxy Music is sold to Chris Kirkley for $63. Let me bring out a new auction. The Mountain Autographed Mountain album's at $160. Autographed by Leslie West. We've had Climbing and we've had Natuck Sleigh Ride, their first 2 albums. This record, I was curious what it sounded like. I put it on and listened to it because it has members of Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones, with Albert Lee. This is called No Introduction Necessary. This is going to be a $25 start. $25 start. This is a 1984 UK. It is an official press. At first I thought it was a bootleg, but this is official. This is called No Introduction Necessary. The vinyl's EX Plus to Near Mint Minus. It does have a scuff on it, but I test played it. Otherwise, it would be Near Mint Minus. $25 start, and that's No Introduction Necessary. Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, and Albert Lee. No Introduction. That is now at $35 of Ed Nelson. Mountains at $165. Back to the half-off bin. This thing is being fruitful for everybody. Jethro Tull, War Child, now just $10. If you're looking for a couple hits, this has Bungle in the Jungle on it and Skating Away on the Thin Ice of a New Day. It has the original inner sleeve. That's $10 for Jethro Tull, War Child. Roxy Music, Excuse the Nudity. There's one of their studio albums, Country Life. Now just $15. Brian Ferry and Roxy Music. Now just $15 on that. Dandy in the Underworld. This is Mark Bolan and T-Rex, another record that should not be half off. 1983 UK, $13.50. $13.50 on Mark Bolan and T-Rex, Dandy in the Underworld. Let me do one more. Steve Winwood, Back in the High Life. There we go. $10. Has the original inner sleeve. It has the hit song Higher Love on it. Mountain was at $165. No Introduction was at $35, $36.40. Justin Nethers, first on Roxy Music at half off. Justin, you're first to that. Thomas Hujar second. Greg Rogers third. Patty's at $37 on No Introduction. Edward, you were 4th on Roxy Music. Brent's back in on Mountain at $175. No Introduction, $38. Chip Hall first to Steve Winwood. Scott Drum second. Claymore third. Jetstream 4th. Lily McCurry 5th. Yes, Brian Sessler sold at auction. George Howard, personal, $7.50. I do these half-off bins late at night, anytime after usually 10 o'clock for those that stick around late. It's just fortunate we've got a lot of viewers late tonight, so everybody's getting a peek, and a great reason why you should always tune in late at CollectCo. Sometimes I get a little crazy, and we just start doing stuff that should not be discounted this much. But 2 things happen for us. We sell a lot of records, and y'all get a lot of great deals. So it's a win-win. We sell a lot of vinyl, y'all get a lot of great deals, and hopefully this keeps you coming back because we can do this literally continuous for months and never sell everything. Ray Charles, this is a Japanese pressing, now just $17.50. It's called Ray Charles Volume 10. I don't know a lot about it. That did not come from Japan. That came from a collection we bought. $17.50 on that. And Melissa Manchester's Bright Eyes. That's in shrink wrap, now just $5 for MM Melissa Manchester. Mountains at $180. No Introduction, $41, $42. Jetstream wants George Howard. That's sold to Jetstream. No Introduction, $45. Daniel Hayes wants Ray Charles. No Introductions at $47. Mountain is at $180. Michael Nesmith, From a Radio Engine to the Photon Wing. Michael Nesmith is sealed. Now just $12.50. And no saw marks, no punch holes, and no clip corners. Michael Nesmith of the Monkees. That's now just $12.50. Sealed copy. Wow. Neil Young, Time Fades Away. $17.50. In the back, we got an autographed copy of this. I got an autographed copy in the back. Coming soon at auction. $17.50 for Neil Young, Time Fades Away. And another Monkees, or a Monkees album. We had Michael Nesmith just a second ago. This is VG Condition, just $5. VG Condition, just $5. No Introduction was at $47 with Craig, $50 with Greg. Thomas Hujar gets to Michael Nesmith at half off. John Porter was second. Patty's out on No Introduction. Lily McCurry, you were 3rd on Michael Nesmith. Edward was 4th. Shakedown, 1st on the Neil Young. Shakedown, 1st on the Neil Young. Michael Nath at 2nd. Chip Hall 3rd. John Miller 4th. Mountains at $185. Jetstream, you were 5th on Neil Young. And Daniel Haynes gets the Monkees. Daniel Haynes, you get the Monkees. Nobody wants Melissa Manchester. Let me do one more. Wow. This is $20. EX Condition, Led Zeppelin 4. Led Zeppelin 4. This is a 5-digit 77 reissue. That is $10. $10. John Porter's backing on Mountain at 190, and Michael Nath gets Led Zeppelin. Here's what's really unique about the Pittsburgh collection. So you go to his Led Zeppelin section, he has virtually no Led Zeppelin studio albums. It's all bootlegs, imports, unofficials, promo copies. If he does have a Led Zeppelin, some kind of promo or something crazy. But I did see a copy of Led Zeppelin 4, and it's a Russian copy with a completely different cover. I don't even know if it's a legitimate press. And they made a lot of Zeppelin, or they made a lot of records in Russia that aren't even like legitimate releases. Sometimes they say they are, sometimes they say they don't. But that's what's incredible about this. I haven't seen a copy of Led Zeppelin 4 in his collection yet. He may have it, I don't know. Michael Nath gets this one at half off. Chip Hall 2nd, Lillian 3rd, Daniel 4th, Marsha 5th, Chad 6th, Henny 2nd, Josh, Jetstream, Mike, Mountains at 201. Mountains at 205. And where are we at on No Introduction? No Introduction is at $50 with Greg Rogers. This is John Paul Jones, Jimmy Page, and Albert Lee. Greg Rogers has this for $50, and it's a final call. Pamela's at 51. Pamela's at 51. New bid. Yes, we're still in a half-off bin. Ryan Christie needs to put back Jimi Hendrix. I checked and already have it. We'll make a note of that. It's just me and Jake tonight. It's hard for us to do putbacks, but I think we had a waiting list for that, Jake. No Introductions at 55. Mountain is at 201 with Brent Ribley. John's at 205. Autographed by Leslie West. Back to the half-off bin. The Ozark Mountain Daredevils. This is now $7.50. VG Plus condition. This has one of their hit songs, If You Want to Get to Heaven. VG Plus, $7.50. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. VG Plus, $7.50. Columbia 2i. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. $7.50. Spinning Wheel. You Make Me So Very Happy. Jethro Tull, A Passion Play. A VG copy for $5. VG copy for $5. Brent is out on Mountain. So the autographed OG Mountain record. It's also first press, Monarch, with the booklet. Beautiful vinyl, autographed by Leslie West. It's a Monarch copy. John Porter has that for $205. Final call. No Introduction. We had a $51 bid. Greg's right back in at $55. Lillian McCurry first on Ozark Mountain Daredevils. John Smetzer was second. Jetstream third. Stephen A. Young first to Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Kenneth Jank was second. Pamela back in on No Introduction for $56. We're about to sell Mountain for $205 unless somebody wants in. The Rolling Stones, there they are. VG Plus, $12.50. This is an American concert, 1981, live concert. That is sold to Michael Nath. That is sold to Michael Nath. Davey Blair was second. Wow, Leonard Skinner, what is this doing? And it's a VG copy, so that means it's just $7.50. VG copy, $7.50. It's VG, nothing fancy. It was $14.99. Now it's $7.50. Look at all the LS's popping up, Jake. Michael Nath passes because it's VG Plus. So give this to Davey Blair. Davey Blair, you get the VG Plus Stones. That's so to Davey Blair. It looks like John Smetzer was third, and then Brent was first to Leonard Skinner. Brent first to Leonard Skinner. Jesse Hood second, Chip Hall third, Davey fourth, Mark Shelton fifth, Todd Tipton sixth, Thomas Hujar seventh, Corey Gaston 8, Chip Hall 9th, Nick Bargeron 10, Jetstream 11, Brian C 12. Wow, I haven't had that many claims in a long time on something. Half off Leonard Skinner will do it. James Brown, wow, presents his Show of Tomorrow, a VG copy, which most of James Brown's are in VG, $12.50. Mountain is sold for $205, Jake. Let me go ahead and tag that before you stand up. $205 to John Porter. $205 to John Porter. Let me grab our next auction. Let me see what I have left over here. I still got the autographed Bruce Springsteen box. Bruce did not autograph it. 2 members of his band did. I've got an obscure record. I got another Van Morrison. I got a Dwight Yoakam. I got Archie's. Let me put up the Dwight Yoakam. This is another, we had these last night, and we're getting low on Dwight Yoakam stock. I got a 1989 US OG. I think the one we had last night was a club copy. This is a retail copy, $35 start, $35 start. That is a 1989 USOG retail copy. Near mint minus with the original inner sleeve. Just looking for a hit. Just looking for a hit. And that is a Dwight Yoakam hits compilation. His stuff is not in print, nor have these things really ever been reissued. $35 start on that. Okay, now let's go ahead and tag the Jackson or the James Brown. I see JB and I think Jackson Brown for some reason. Brent got the James Brown. Mark Shelton second. We have Jake. Not sure if you saw my message on Scott's earlier. You sold it to me for 60, not 50. Okay, make sure the Jake will correct that. Okay, I may have said, I don't know what I said, but Joe, whichever way we need to fix it. Okay. Dwight Yoakam 35, 40, 45, 35, 50, 55. Jennifer Bush Woodard's at 55. We have the no introduction necessary. High bid on this is with Pamela Yeager at 56. Who else was bidding? Who else was bidding? Pamela and Greg Rogers. Let me make sure Greg hadn't bumped this again. Pamela, you is at 56. Greg Rogers, you're out at 56. Nick Bargeron's at 65 on Dwight Yoakam. Just looking for a hit. Linda Ronstadt, Silk Purse, EX, $6.50. $6.50 on Linda Ronstadt Silk Purse. Her stuff's been hot this week. That is a great deal on that at $6.50. So no introduction. Greg's out. This is Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin, and then Albert Lee. No introduction necessary. Pamela Yeager has this for $56. If you want in, now's the time. Davy Blair's at 75 on Dwight Yoakam. Pamela got the Linda Ronstadt. She was first to that. Lillian second. Edward third. Marcia fourth. Christopher Brusha sixth. Also, April Wine, Harder, Faster. VG Plus, $7.50 on April Wine. Harder, Faster. Dwight Yoakam's at 80. The Stylistics is in shrink wrap. VG Plus, $5. VG Plus, $5. So the last claim here was Linda Ronstadt, Jake, and that was sold to Pamela Yeager. She also has the high bid on no introduction, which I'm about to sell. No, I'm not. Jeff McMaster has it for $57. I said about to sell. I didn't say sold. Jeff McMaster has it for $57. Back to the top, Dwight Yoakam is at $80 with Edward Star Wars. Chip Hall gets the April Wine. That's sold to Chip Hall. Daniel Haynes second. John Porter third. Ed Nelson fourth. Jeff's in at 57. Nick Bargeron, you were fifth on April Wine. Jetstream wants the Stylistic. Tommy Flower second. Debbie's at 85 on Dwight Yoakam. Deep Purple, their classic Machine Head album. This is $16.50. It's the palm tree label, and it has the lyric insert. Smoke on the Water, $16.50 for Deep Purple. Repeat, The Best of Jethro Tull, $7.50, Volume 2. This is a Jethro Tull Hits compilation, VG Plus condition, $7.50. Debbie's back in on Dwight Yoakam at 85. Pamela, just so you know, you're out on the Jimmy Page record. Jeff McMaster has that for $57. Lots of Deep Purple comments. Chip Hall was first. Chip Hall on Deep Purple. Jesse Hood second. John Porter third. Nick Bargeron fourth. Marcia fifth. John Miller sixth. Lily McCurry seventh. Jetstream eighth. Jennifer Woodard's at 90 on Dwight Yoakam. John Porter first to Jethro Tull. Pamela's back in on no introduction at 58. Edwards at 87. Dwight Yoakam. Jennifer's already at 90. Jethro Tull is sold to Jetstream, which was repeat. This Jethro Tull's still available. One more record, then I'm going to go ahead and start a new auction. War, Outlaw. War is VG Plus, $7.50. Dwight Yoakam, just looking for a hit. Near mint minus, that is final call, or now going once, going twice to Jennifer. It's between Jennifer and Edward. Jennifer has it for $90. Mark Fallon is going to have a seizure if I don't show him this Bruce Springsteen box. It was luckily Mark. This was next. This is sold by Niels Lofgren. It's personalized to Dale, unfortunately. It's personalized to Dale, who originally owned this collection. It says to Dale, Believe, Niels Lofgren, and it's also autographed on the book here. It's also autographed on the book, To Dale, Believe, Niels Lofgren. And it's also let me restart. It's also autographed by Bruce Springsteen's drummer, and his name is, somebody give me his name. It's his drummer. It's left me. I can't read it too well either. His drummer is Max Weinberg. Max Weinberg. Yes, Max Weinberg. Max Weinberg. It's autographed to Dale, believe, Niels Lofgren, to Dale from Max Weinberg, and he made a little doodle here of his drum kit, it looks like. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know. It looks like a drum kit to me. And it looks like Niels also offered autographed the inside book here. Let me make sure nothing else autographed. I really hadn't looked at it. This is the last thing I photographed. Uh-oh, there's something in it. This is the last thing I photographed, and I hadn't got to look at it yet. So I'm looking at this for the first time. We have a credit card slip where he originally bought it. It looks in 1986 for $26.49. Yep, there's the original receipt. Yeah, I haven't got to clean this or anything, but it looks like some original credit card slip and receipt. There's 2 LPs. There's all 5 LPs. Doesn't look like anything else. It's making sure like there isn't like a Bruce Springsteen autographed inner sleeve or something. Doesn't look like there is, unfortunately. So to Dale, believe, Niels Lofgren, and Max Weinberg. And John's right. So I haven't tried it, but some of these records this guy wrote on the shrink wrap, like some of these sealed albums we sold tonight, he wrote sealed in like Sharpie. I've taken Windex and a paper towel and wiped it right off. It is possible you could remove that and that where it just says Max Weinberg and Niels Lofgren. If you have the right person doing it or you want to try it yourself, you could do that. That should be able to come off on this kind of glossy cardboard. So just FYI. I don't know about the book, maybe. But yes, John's right in saying that. Okay, so let me go back up to the top. Before I introduce that, I got a lot of other things going on. Edward bid 92 on the Dwight Yoakam. So Edward Star Wars is at 92 on the Dwight Yoakam. Gary Samuels gets the War album for half off. That's so did Gary Samuels. No Introduction was at 58 with Pamela Yeager. No Introduction, 58. So Greg Rogers, you were back out on that. Greg Rogers. Pamela was at 58 on No Introduction. 92 on Dwight Yoakam. Let's see here. And let me get down to the bottom. Okay, so I guess I need to introduce this. I really don't know. I mean, the box set by itself is pretty cool, and it's got a couple signatures. We'll have some fun with it. I'll start it at just $35. $35. Bruce Springsteen, E Street Band, 5 LP box. It's got 2 Niels Lofgren autographs on it and his drummer, Max Weinberg. That is now up for auction. Okay, Jennifer's back in on the Dwight Yoakam for $95. Greg Rogers, let me know where you want to be at on this. If you're done, I'm going to go ahead and sell it. But right now, Pamela has it for $58. $58 on that. I'm going to put Bruce kind of right here. Okay, we got more discounted records to go through in here. First, we have Dinah Ross and the Supremes' greatest hits. So Edward, Edward, you're out on the Dwight Yoakam. This is now $11.50. It has the booklet with it. Dinah Ross and the Supremes, $11.50. Fleetwood Mac Mirage, now just $8. $9. Now just $9. $9 on Fleetwood Mac Mirage. $9 on that. John Porter, first to Dinah Ross. John Porter gets to Dinah Ross at half off, Jake. Next is Michael Nath gets Fleetwood Mac. Jetstream next on Dinah Ross. Scott Drum third. Greg Rogers said, I was out a long time ago. John was after me. Yeah, maybe Jeff McMaster was bidding on this. I need to make sure. Yeah, maybe it was Jeff. Maybe it was Jeff. Yeah, Jeff McMaster was 57. Pamela's at 58. Jeff, I need to know if you're in or out. 58 is on that. 58 on that. Sorry, I knew somebody was new bidder, so yes, Jeff. Okay, Brent next on Fleetwood Mac. Chip next. Justin, Nick, Lillian, Bill, Chris, and Dwight Yoakam. Edward Star Wars, that's a final call. Jennifer Bush Woodard has that for, boy, there's a lot of, when I'm showing these half-off records, there's a lot of comments. Jennifer has that for $95. That's a final call. The Who Face Dances, VG Plus, $7.50 for The Who Face Dances. It also has the poster with it. Pamela's back in on Dwight Yoakam at $97. The Who Face Dances, that is now $7.50. Edward also bid $97. We still got 3 bidders on Dwight Yoakam. We're not done yet. The Grease soundtrack, that is now $5. That's because it's in VG condition. It was $9.99. Now it's $5. Jetstream gets The Who. That's The Who Face Dances. That's sold to Jetstream. Todd Tippin second. Henny, you were third. Henny, you were third. Jethro Tull, Minstrel in the Gallery. That's VG Plus, $7.50. Craig Weatherford, first on Grease. Dwight Yoakam's now at $100. And the car, self-titled, is EX $15. Also, where are we at on Bruce Springsteen? Bruce Springsteen is at $50 with John Young. Autographed by Niels Lofgren and Max Weinberg. That is at $50. There's 2 Niels Lofgren autographs on there. That is at $50 with John Young. $50 on John Young. That is going once, going twice. Craig's at $55. Jetstream wants Jethro Tull. Are you going to get any of the Whitney Houston MoFi? Yes, I will be. Jetstream gets Jethro Tull. Nick Bargeron wants the Cars. And I haven't heard. I've got to sell this. I haven't heard from Jeff McMaster. This is sold to Pamela Yeager. This is sold to Pamela Yeager for $58. $58. That's sold to Pamela Yeager. Dwight Yoakam's at $100. Bruce Springsteen's at $55, $60, and now $62. Now we got 2 auctions going. A lot more from me. Say, speaking of Whitney Houston, this is the Zach album. He was asking if it's coming out on MoFi. Now it's $25. This is $25. Whitney Houston. I Just Want to Dance with Somebody. The name of the album is Whitney. Great deal on that. That's sold to Henny Cognac. Now, Henny, if you're a first-time buyer, here's what I need you to do, because I don't think I've ever said your name before. If you're a first-time buyer, thank you and welcome. We need you to message our Facebook page right now. All first-time buyers, we need a message from you or an email with your email address and your mailing address. We do $7 in limited shipping. We're live right now, Wednesday, almost at 11 o'clock. We're going to be live again on Thursday, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. We do this every night, auctions and vintage and new vinyl and Japanese vinyl and 45s. Everything combines for $7. I just need to make sure you send us a message. You just got a great deal on Whitney Houston. We're doing a late night half-off bin. You get that, and Brent was second. Jeff McMaster was third. John Young bid $65 on Bruce Springsteen. Craig bid $75. John's out. Let's do a final call on Dwight Yoakam. This is at $100 with Edward Star Wars. $100 on that. Bruce Springsteen is at $75. Other bidders are out. We'll put up 2 new auctions. Wow, Neil Young. Everybody knows this is nowhere. Now just $17.50. That just made me sick. And Aerosmith Live Bootleg. That also just made me sick. VG Plus condition, $13.50. Those should not be discounted. Congratulations if you're watching, and congratulations if you got that. Jennifer Woodard's out on Dwight Yoakam. Pamela Yeager has that for $102. Brent Robley, first to the Neil Young. Also, let me go ahead and tag this, and I saw where somebody wanted Jethro Tull earlier. Brian C. wants War Child from earlier. But first, let me give Neil Young to Brent Robley. Chip Hall second, John Miller third. Brent Robley first on Aerosmith. So he got Neil Young and Aerosmith. Daniel next on Aerosmith. Michael Nath third. Jetstream fourth. Nick Bargeron fifth. Kenneth Jenks sixth. And Eric seventh. And then Brian C. wants Jethro Tull War Child. So Pamela has come in on Dwight Yoakam at 102. So now this is still between Pamela and Edward Star Wars. Pamela has it for 102. Bruce Springsteen is a final call. It's autographed by Niels Lofgren and Max Weinberg. It's got 2 Niels autographed, the front cover and the booklet. That is at $75 of Craig Johnson. And the box set itself is a 5 LP box set sealed, or excuse me, near mint minus with the booklet. All right, I've got 2 more auctions over here. 3 more. I've got several more auctions. We'll keep doing some vintage. I may even bring a crate of new vinyl over here so we can go through some stuff. But at first, I'm going to recap this bin and show you a couple things that's left. For $7.50, this is sealed. It's never been opened. You must remember these. That's a compilation, $7.50. W.C. Fields is $7.50. That is the original voice tracks from his greatest movies. And Nat King Cole, $5 on Nat King Cole. Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass, that is $10 for Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. And Dandy in the Underworld. Can't believe no one claimed this. Mark Bolan and T-Rex, that is now $13.50. Edward Star Wars. Just let me know on Dwight Yoakam. We can definitely go ahead and sell this to Craig Johnson. Make sure I got that name right. We got a lot of Craigs. Craig Johnson. Yes, $75 on that. $75 on that. That is sold to him. Very quick auction on this. This is a Japanese. We sold the Archie's compilation earlier. This is a Japanese 7-inch of Sugar Sugar. The Archies. This is a Japanese 7-inch of Sugar Sugar. The B-side is, I listened to it. It sounds great. The vinyl has some swirling to it. It has some weird swirling to it, but I test played it. It sounds great. B-side is Melody Hill, the hit song Sugar Sugar by the Archies. This is going to be a $15 start. It has the original insert with it. A little bit of foxing on the cover, but it doesn't distract from it too much. $15 start on the Archies Sugar Sugar, Japanese press, 7-inch single. That's a $15 start. Brent Robley wants MB, which was, that was not You Must Remember These. That was not W.C. Fields. That was Mark Boland. Mark Boland. That's sold to Brent Robley, Ed Nelson second, Eric third. Archie's is at 15 and now 25. I have lost connection with Edward Star Wars. I bet he may have thought he won this and got off. I'm going to do a 5-second countdown, and if not, I got to sell it to Pamela Yeager for 102. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Sold to Pamela Yeager for 102. I hope he didn't get off thinking he'd won it for 100 because it's sold. Melissa Manchester is $5. And Jethro Tull, the only Jethro Tull left, Passion Play, VG Condition, $5. Okay, Van Morrison, very cool here. The alternative Van Morrison. The alternative Van Morrison. Another Side of Moondance. Lacquer's cut by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grunman Mastering. Limited edition of 10,000. 180-gram vinyl, record store day exclusive. 2018 sealed limited edition. $45 start. Alternative Moondance. Sealed record store day. 10,000 were pressed. Bernie Grunman Mastering. Wow, I wish this thing was open so I could listen to it. The Alternative Moondance. It has alternative mixes and alternative takes of his classic album. I would like to listen to that. $45 start on that. Stacy's at 26 on the Archies. I'm going to go ahead and get another auction started. This is probably the most odd or unusual record of the night. This is Sweet Country Sweet. Sweet Country Sweet by Larry Murray. This is country rock. It's a 1971 U.S. promo. EX Plus condition. It's rock, country rock. Some of the members of this band was in a band called Hearts and Flowers. Hearts and Flowers. That is a $35 start. Does it have Into the Mystic? This is the entire Moondance album with alternative takes. So yes, this is the Moondance album, Into the Mystic, but it's not the original version. It's take 14. These are all different takes and alternate versions of these songs. That's what this album is. This is not Moondance. It is Moondance, but it's a whole different version. Original outtakes, alternative takes, etc. 45, 46, now 50. Stacy has the Archies for $26, final call. But yes, this kind of obscure country rock album, the starting bid is $35. $35. $35. Somebody did write their name, and that is from the Pittsburgh collection. Stacy is about to get the Archies album. Okay, I've got to keep y'all entertained to something. I can't believe it's already 11 o'clock. Of course, we did start about 50 minutes late. I had to get all the new vinyl ready. Speaking of new vinyl, I guess there's some people on late. Let me do a recap of all of our newest new vinyl releases. I definitely need to do that. I do definitely need to do all of our new vinyl releases. We still got some great stuff to show. Let me put all those in one bin and go through that. So yeah, this was our first crate of new vinyl. That way we can get some waiting lists going in case you missed out on those. Let's start from the very first crate that we began with tonight as we wrap up some of these final auctions. I know it's getting late, so if you're hopping on late, I want to go ahead and tell you we're doing this again tomorrow. I'm going to start working on auctions. As soon as I say goodnight, I'm going to get something to eat. We're going to start working on auctions again. We're going to start working on some auctions again. And what was I about to say? Oh, yes, we got Tanner, Henry, Paul, and let somebody out. Tanner, Tyler, Paul, and Henry. They're up in somewhere around the New York area right now buying records, and I've been left here to take care of the sales. John will be back tomorrow working on pricing new vintage stuff, and great stuff. Great stuff this week. Tomorrow, usually I save great stuff for Thursday. I know these auctions tonight have been great. Tomorrow it's going to get even better. I'm going to bring out some more autographs, more bootlegs, some more Beatles. I'm going to bring out the Beatles stuff, I think, for the first time, maybe a little bit of Grateful Dead. Incredible stuff. I'm waiting for some autographs to be verified. There's some that I'm just not, I know they're real, but there's been people like the Huey Lewis autograph. Somebody said it's an early signature. The way he does his H, now he does like an H and then draws a line through it. This one, he drew his H and he made like a star. But it's also signed by the rest of the band, or at least 3 other people in the band. And I talked to Dale, and he said he met them. He had that sign in person, and I believe him. But I think it's just an early signature on Huey Lewis. So I've had some people be like, I don't know about that. So I know it's real, but I don't like selling any of these autographs unless we're 100% positive. 100% positive. So I may have to get a letter with that one. And then there's been some that he got as gifts that we definitely don't think are any good. So we're going through hundreds, if not thousands, of autographs and really having to check all these things out very thoroughly. Very thoroughly. Okay, so first let's update a few things here. I don't think anybody else bid on the Archie, so Jake, you can tag this to Stacy Metternich for $26. I had one of those one time and she really wanted it. Also, we have Sherry Darnell. Van Morrison's at $90. Sherry Darnell's at $90. Let me go back up the top and make sure I didn't miss anything else. Yes, here's the Sweet Country Suite. That was a $35 start. That was the Rock Country Rock promo copy. Okay, so Van Morrison, let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. Let's see here. Van Morrison, 90. Any new Marilyn Manson? No, the new Marilyn Manson album was recalled, so that's unavailable. Paul recommends. Paul will be back pricing records next week. Just me and John pricing records this week. Okay, new vinyl recap as we wrap up some of these last auctions. Skid Row, Subhuman Race. Skid Row, new release. There was a big pre-order and we've sold a lot. That's blue and black vinyl. Skid Row, $44.99. Subhuman Race. I got a few of those. Last copy of this, Cure the Show. First time on black vinyl since the 90s. Cure the Show. 30th anniversary, 2 LP, $44.99. $44.99. That's my last copy on hand. And then the very popular Skid Row Slave to the Grind, also on red or orange and black marbled vinyl, $44.99. Final call on Van Morrison for $90. And this is tonight's kind of obscurity record. And this was Rock Country Rock White Label promo. It had great reviews on Discogs. When I'm looking up odd stuff on Discogs and the median and the high and just what they sell for is pretty pricey, that tells me it's some good listening. You may have never heard it in your life. I know I've never heard it. But then you read the reviews and everybody's like, yeah, this is kind of like a Paul record. It's like something a lot of people don't know about, but when you put it on, you'll enjoy it. And that is Sweet Country Suite by Larry Murray. Looking for a $35 start, or you can wait for the buy it now. Cody Jinks, I'm Not the Devil. That's a 2016 Cody Jinks. We've sold a lot of Cody Jinks. If you like, this is in the wheelhouse of Tyler Childers and Sturgill Simpson, Americana. Cody Jinks, $44.99. Eric Clapton Unplugged for our MoFi collectors. That's a one-step, $144.99 on that. Let's sell Van Morrison to Sherry Darnell for $90. And I am going to go ahead and make Larry Murray a buy it now. Sweet Country Suite, Larry Murray. If anybody wants it, $35 buy it now. It is a white label promo, if you want to take a chance on that one. Cinderella, $38.99. Cinderella Night Songs. Jeff Master says he'll take the Larry Murray. He was about to comment something. Grew up in a house that looks like this. Maybe is what he's about to say. We'll figure out what he says. Is Eric Clapton numbered in 45? Let me confirm that. It should be 40. Yes, it's definitely 45. And yes, it's numbered. Number 8373. Yes, $144.99. We've already sold one. We have one. I grew up in a house with a bay. Oh, a bay window like that. Gotcha. Bay window. Our house had one too, but it wasn't like a tower like that. It was just like in our living room. That sold to Jeff McMaster for $35. Michael Nath wants the Eric Clapton Unplugged. Great decision there. Can you get the new Oak Crow Medicine Show Jubilee? Yes, we have that on pre-order. I think we have it on pre-order. Cinderella, $38.99. Here's another Mo5 one-step. Boy, this sounds incredible. I was so excited when I seen they were doing this. I was like, my favorite album, one of my favorite albums, and the ultimate listening experience, and it sounds incredible. When they're doing Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, all the instruments and their harmonies, it will give you shivers. Any idea what American music will be in? Was that just a restock? If so, I don't know. Restocks could come in at any time. This is also $144.99. Extreme Porno Graffiti, $39.99. Cinderella Long Cold Winter, $38.99. Can't believe no one grabbed the other copy of this. Bill Evans with Jim Hall, Undercurrent, $36.99. The new Lifehouse album, $38.99 for Lifehouse. And the last copy of Blackstone Cherry, $39.99. They're always popular, Blackstone Cherry. Okay, any last request, offers? We're out of auctions. Everything is sold from that post. Everything has sold. That's all the new vinyl, except for a few more copies of Skid Row, which I think I can fit in here now. Any requests? Now's like, do you have this? Do you have that? If not, I'm sure Jake would like me to say goodnight so he can go home, and I can get work price and even more stuff for tomorrow night's auction. Craig, I will ping you if I can get an update on Rob Zombie. There's all of tonight's new vinyl. We went through 3 crates. That's all that's left. We got 4 crates of pre-order sold. We went through like 4 crates of vintage, and literally they got obliterated. That was incredible. We'll have new stuff tomorrow that John's pricing from various collections, including Pittsburgh. I'm going to work on starting pricing stuff, and along with auctions. Last night we signed off with 156 people watching. This is 116, and it's after 11 o'clock. Still pretty impressive. Thanks everybody who has stayed late with us every night. We've had some incredible shows, and we're going to do it even bigger Thursday, tomorrow. And by the way, I'm opting out to go to the Tennessee Vols home opener. I have season tickets this year because Paul's not here to do the show. He's going to be in New York or Massachusetts, wherever they're at. I'm going to miss the Vols home opener to have a show. Okay, that's big for me, okay? I'm not going to go to Neyland Stadium and use my first season ticket so we can have a show because Paul's not going to be here. Now, the other Saturdays, when I'm in Tuscaloosa, when I'm in Neyland, when I'm in Kroger Field and Lexington, Paul will be hosting the shows on Saturday nights. I'll be watching some Vols football, but I'll be here Saturday night, so I'm missing the home opener. So, how much are those tickets? I don't know. I honestly don't know because Seth's family has had season tickets since the 80s, and they have 5 or 6 tickets, and they always have an extra, and I went ahead and said, I'll take the extra for the whole season. I did that last year too. So Seth's grandparents have had season tickets up there since the 80s. I think they've had 5 seats since like the mid-80s, and I'm buying one of them. So, and there'll be somebody, his sister or somebody, there'll be somebody using it. Yeah, Mima, Mama, Nana, they've had season tickets. Seth gets to go to free. I have to pay for it. He just hops in the car with somebody. He likes for me to go because he knows I drive up there because I don't trust him driving. You don't want Seth behind the wheel. I just get in my Tahoe and set the cruise on 90 and we get up there very safely, okay? You don't want Seth driving. If you go into Neyland, you get in the fast lane, you go 90 and everybody else is doing 90 and you'll get there. Seth drives very defensively. He like letting people merge in and these pharmacists are too careful, you know. I'm like, man, you just got to just get in the fast lane and go. There's 100,000 people heading to the same spot. They're all trying to get there fast. Kelly Gabney wants a pack of outer sleeves. We get to pull one of those for Kelly. We will do that. John Porter wants his total. Well, I can't do that because nothing's getting keyed in right now. So let's see here. All right. Ken says what? I guess what? Well, Tennessee Vols. It's football season. Saturdays are very important to me. I'm going to be here a lot, but I'm also going to be at a lot of games. So, all right. Fantastic. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm signing off. I think I'm going to go down here to Taco Bell. I'm going to regret it later, but let's go to Taco Bell. Do the power locks activate with self-drop? Yeah, it's like the doors vacuum shut. You get a warning over the speakers. He brakes really hard, too. I mean, you'll have whiplash. I'm like, dude, for you to drive with a Camaro, you'd think you'd drive a little safer, which is faster. You can't drive defensively on I-40. You got to drive offensively, right, Jake? Especially if you're going to Knoxville. You got to be well alert. There's a lot of drunks and a lot of crazy people heading up there, especially if they're playing Bama or Florida or A&M this year. Oh, my gosh. Okay, thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 o'clock Central Time. See you then.